The president's immigration order says there will be no decision today. This after a 3-judge panel heard arguments criticized by the president.
I listened to a bunch of stuff last night on television that was disgraceful. It was disgraceful.
He says his authority under the law is clear. Part of the court's focus is intent.
The judges wanted to know if this executive order on extreme vetting was really a Muslim ban in sheep's clothing, that it was written broadly to cover everyone, but that the target really was Muslim.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House. Democrats in the Senate still reading from the letter that got one senator disciplined in the run-up to tonight's confirmation vote on Attorney General nominee Jeff Sessions. Fox Radio's Jared Halpern live on the Hill.
That vote for Senator Sessions to become the next Attorney General will happen in a couple of hours. Senate Democrats are repeatedly reading from a letter written more than 30 years ago by Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow, calling Sessions reprehensible.
It is my strongly held view that the appointment of Jefferson Sessions to the federal bench would irreparably damage the work of my husband.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders quoting Coretta Scott King in 1986. When Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren read that letter last night, she was ordered to sit. GOP leaders concluding she violated a Senate rule prohibiting senators from impugning one another. Lisa.
Jared, the White House says Nordstrom's decision to stop selling Ivanka Trump's fashion line is a political attack on her father.
This is a direct attack on his policies and her name.
White House spokesman Sean Spicer defending President Trump's tweeted criticism of the retail chain, saying his daughter had been treated so unfairly. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi calling his comments inappropriate. At the closing bell, the Dow down 35 points, but the NASDAQ with another record close. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, Pro Flowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from Pro Flowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3535.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
U.S. citizen sentenced for his role in the failed attack on a Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest in Texas.
He's only the second person in the U.S. convicted of supporting ISIS. A jury agreed with prosecutors last year that Abdul Malik Abdul Karim from Phoenix helped plot a thwarted attack on an anti-Islam event near Dallas. During sentencing, the American-born Muslim convert kept his head down as the judge gave him 30 years in prison for what she called an extraordinarily serious set of crimes.
Fox Radio's Carmen Roberts. Police shot and killed the 2 attackers, but prosecutors say Kareem had given them the guns and encouraged the attack. Fallout over the Dakota Access Pipeline for a banking giant in 2 cities.
The Seattle City Council made it official, deciding not to renew its contract with Wells Fargo. Socialist City Councilwoman Kashama Sawant told me after the legislation was debated at the committee level, banks that compete to manage the city's funds now will be held to a different standard, as the city also changed its formula used to consider a bank's criteria.
We've expanded the weight. We've raised the weight of the social justice criteria in that formula. Those banks get to rise to the top of the list.
The city of Davis in California has also voted to divest from Wells Fargo, and they're looking for proposals from other local banks. On the same day these cities voted to divest, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said it would grant an easement needed for the Dakota Pipeline to be built. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A serious circus accident in Florida. 5 performers injured while practicing a high wire act involving famed high wire walker Nick Wallenda, who was not injured. Several members of his family also involved. Investigators say it appears the high wire just snapped and the group fell 30 feet or more. 2 people reported in critical condition. And Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a furnace expert this winter? Call Chief Bauer Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. The weather in Illinois is drunk.
Well, today it seems sober because it's doing what it's supposed to do.
I know, but it's going to get drunk.
Maybe it's taking a day off before they go on a binge again.
Yesterday was 60 degrees.
Yep,
today we got a winter weather advisory in effect. A lot of snow. The roads are very slick. Take it easy out there.
You may have to head home early.
Give yourself some time. A low of 14. Thursday, sunny, clear, high 25, low of 18. Friday, we'll get a lot of meltage. High 46, a low of 39. Right now, snowy, winter weather advisory in effect, 28. Feels like 17 in Champaign-Urbana.
Hope you can gain momentum from it, Shannon. But at the end of the day, we've talked the last day or two about staying in the moment, and not thinking about the past or, predicting the future or, we're going to try to stay in the moment. We talked a lot about that as a group over the last day or two, and I thought those guys really did a good job of great prep day, the day after the Minnesota game, great practice yesterday. They were good in shoot around today, just trying to absorb the moment. That's a challenge, as I said on the presser that I had before we came here, because everybody wants to. A lot of people want to talk about the past, which you have no control over. You want to talk about the future, which you also have no control over. So you've got to stay in the moment. I thought our guys did that. But at the end of the day, Shannon, I do think, hopefully we can gain some momentum from it.
Yeah, Illini basketball coach John Gross, you're Fighting Illini. Get it done? Wait, was that on the road? I'm kidding. I watched it. 68-61.
First time that's happened, a road win in a year. You snapped a 9-game Big Ten road streak and just a true road game.
When was the last one for giggles?
It was the classic.
Oh, the Rutgers!
Triple overtime win at Rutgers.
Yes!
The last non-overtime road victory for Illinois.
You have to go back 4 years.
2 years.
2 years. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
At Iowa.
Michigan State, I believe it was.
Oh, of course. Oh, I was flying back from Florida then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been a long time.
Interesting. That has been a long time. That game will live in infamy as I was taking off for the airport. Illinois does get it done last night, 68-61. I have no idea what the hell it means. I honestly don't know what it means. And so as I talk to you about this today, it improves Illinois to 14-11. They're 4-8 overall. I'm going to be honest with you. I love coming to this radio station and talking after a victory. I really, really, really would rather talk after a victory than a loss.
And can we do this? We have criticized the heck out of John Gross because he's deserved it.
Yep.
He had a great game last night.
He did.
He had a phenomenal game last night.
They ran offense.
It comes down to the rotation.
Well, no, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you started Aaron Jordan. We forgot to ask after the game because it wasn't the story of why Jalen Coleman-Lands didn't start again.
Is that a Chicago guy? I mean, he's close to Chicago.
No,
I don't either.
That is the reason.
That was me last night trying to figure. You know what? He went extra hard during line drills, so you just earned yourself a starting spot.
I think it was because Jalen Coleman-Lands wasn't playing well as a starter.
Little message.
But we'll ask about that later on. But he played 8 guys. We've been talking about cut down the rotation, play your best players. I know you want the strength in numbers thing, but 25 or 24 games in, it didn't work. No. So why do you keep going with it? And last night, he changed it.
He did.
You played your best players. Malcolm Hill and Maverick Morgan. I've been talking about Maverick Morgan should play 30-plus minutes. 36 last night.
36 minutes. He can do it.
Malcolm Hill, 36 minutes.
Right.
And that's nothing new. But Tijon Lucas, 33 minutes. And hey, you know what? Kipper Nichols is playing well in the first half.
Yeah.
Let's start him in the second half.
That was kind of
Instead
interesting.
of bring him as the fourth guy off the bench. I thought John played well. And even when Kipper wasn't great in the second half, he brought in Finke over Black.
Yes.
Played Tracy a little bit in some spots that I think Tracy played decent. And Finke got hot, and he rode him down the stretch. Finke played 8 of the last 9 minutes. That's what you want to see, is that you got these predetermined things going into a game, these plans, and you should have plans and, things you go off of. If that changes, we'll do this. But during a game, it's part of a feel. Coaching is not just this is what we'll do at this. It's
no, I agree.
What's the feel of the game? Who's playing well? And John Gross did that last night, and it's not a surprise. They got their best win of the year.
Without a doubt. And I wonder sometimes now, I wondered this last night because I had the same thought as you did about this rotation. And I wondered last night, is this a root cause of Northwestern? Because they're not a team that's going to get up and down the court. They're not going to try to outrun you. Northwestern is not somebody that's powerful inside, hence the fact that Mav Morgan isn't exactly getting beaten up or expending a ton of energy on the defensive end to where he could play more. I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like I'm making excuses for John Gross, but I loved the fact that it seemed like there was this semblance of an idea out on the court. And I think because of that, which is what I went back to originally, I think because of that, the offense looked sharper. I think defensively, they were getting after it. I think they figured out what Northwestern in fact, I'll even go this far. It looked like a great scouting report. And I know Scotty Lindsey wasn't there, and that's a huge, huge thing for this game last night and for Northwestern. But it looked like Illinois had a clue on the defensive end of what they were trying to accomplish. And if Brian McIntosh doesn't go on his own personal 16-0 run, it seemed like, in the second half, I think Illinois wins that thing going away. So I just, all around, that was a great game. It's too late, but it was a great game overall for Illinois, and I'm happy for those kids.
And it was a good start or a good scout, because Bryant McIntosh scored 21 points, but he needed 20 shots to do it.
Non-efficient.
Vic Law, 16 points, made some big threes.
Yeah.
Needed 14 shots to get it.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, 6 of 22 from the field.
Yeah, the rest of the team didn't hurt you.
Yeah, you tried to make those other guys beat you.
That's right.
You made, McIntosh and Law really, really work for it and expend all that energy, and they faded down the stretch. They were making plays from about 8 minutes to 3 minutes,
That's
right?
true. That's
and then
true.
all of a sudden, they faded down the stretch, and you made big plays. Your guy, Malcolm Hill, made big plays.
Yep.
Finke hit big shots. Both those guys combined for 25 points in the second half.
That's awesome.
It was fun. And there's
fun.
nothing wrong with it, even if you're a Carp and you want this guy gone.
No. I'm excited to see a victory.
That was a fun victory, but it just makes you go, man, if they would have had that against Minnesota.
Right.
Or you would have had that on the road at Penn State.
Right.
You get down a little bit early, it's 10-4, and you're thinking, no.
Here we go.
Here we go. They responded with a big 15-0 run. They had some bad stretches in the game, and they missed some opportunities to really break this thing wide open.
Mm-hmm.
But, they made plays when it mattered most, and that's good to see. For me, Lon, this was a big pride game.
No doubt.
Does this team have any pride left?
Great point.
And with Illinois football the last couple of years, it's always been, this could get ugly quick.
Yeah.
But to those guys' credit, they always fought.
They did.
Now, Illinois basketball in 2012, you didn't see that.
No, you're right. Down the stretch.
It was just too much for them to handle, all the pressure of trying to save a coach's job. It just all kind of collapsed on itself, and their coach didn't help. But to John Gross's credit, he's talking about, let's focus on today. Let's win this next game. Let's not let this be 2012.
Sure.
And to his credit, he's making that the focus.
Live in the moment.
He's saying, put the pressure, use all your criticism on me. That's fine.
Yep.
I get paid $1.7 million.
I can handle it.
But for these kids, I want them to win some games this year and give themselves a chance. And I think that's to his credit so far. And let's see if they can build anything off
That's
it.
true.
I mean, the schedule, it's Illinois, and based on how they played so far, it's probably not going to happen.
No.
But I'd rather see a team fight for it.
Especially get hot at the end at least, or show some emotion at the end. You lead right into what my next point wanted to be. And we've got a caller here at 359-2255 is where you can call the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line or text the Chief Bauer text line. You led me into this. What is I'm going to go with the percentage of 90% of the time when people on the street talk to you about Illinois basketball right now. Who are they talking about? They're talking about John Gross, right? That's the topic. The topic is John Gross. Is he coming back? And that's fine. That should be the topic. What's the one thing we don't talk about? That's the kids. We don't seem to talk about them as much. And I don't mean you and I mean people on the street. They don't come up to me and say, hey, Jalen Coleman-Lands doesn't look like he's shooting very well from the right side, but he is the left. That's what you do when you're winning, right? So last night when this happened, when this team won, that was my thought to myself was, good for these guys. Good for Malcolm Hill to get a victory on the road. Good for Jalen and LaRon Black, who are struggling right now, but at least, hey, that's a road win for them to kind of learn from. Good for Michael Finke to feel good. Tijon Lucas, how about that? I mean, this will be a game he remembers. His first true road win as a Fighting Illini, and it comes in the Big Ten, and it comes against a rival in Northwestern. good for these guys. And maybe sometimes, Jeremy, when maybe they stay away from the press, and Sean Harrington said it the other day, you hear it. It doesn't matter how much you want to stay away. Sometimes a little positive reinforcement can really help get you going in the right direction. That's why I hope for these kids' sake, and I'm not talking about the coaching staff, for these kids' sake, I hope a win like last night gives them a boost to say, hey, I want to get back in that gym today. I want to work hard. I want to get ready for this weekend. We've all done that. We've all experienced that in life where we have these letdowns, and sometimes it just takes one little positive thing to get you going. So hopefully that will happen.
Here's a little bit of John Gross talking about, I believe, his rotation. Gross 1.
Okay.
Here on.
Really, I didn't go into the game necessarily planning to only play 8 guys. Those guys played well. I liked the way that they were playing. I liked the way they were playing together. And, we knew how we would kind of start our rotation, but once the game evolved and started moving forward, we felt like it was, in our best interest. We make decisions to try to put us in position to play well and compete and win, and that's the decision that we made today throughout the course of the game, managing the game.
And I want to ask him, when we talk next, probably Friday, why now?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that the thing now?
What did you discover in the last whatever?
Right. Usually, those kind of post-game press conferences are a little shorter. It's a little quicker. You don't get the chance for many follow-ups, but that's kind of my question moving forward. But if you are going to coach that way the rest of the year, I think this team has a chance.
I do too.
I don't see them winning 5 of their last 6 or winning out in this thing, but you at least give yourself a chance to win basketball games.
Agree.
Against a schedule that isn't all that threatening to me.
It's not.
Penn State at home, at Iowa, Northwestern at home, at Nebraska. Michigan State's not a great team.
No.
And then at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Those are all winnable games.
They are.
So you win that one against Northwestern, that's your first real quality win.
Yes.
The problem is there's not a lot of quality wins left on the schedule if you're going to dream about the NCAA tournament.
Right.
But you can see this team maybe getting a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Tijon Lucas makes this team so much better.
And you're even seeing him grow. Not only are you seeing the team grow because of Tijon playing, you're seeing him grow as a player. You're seeing him get more confident. I wish the kid would shoot more. I said that, I think, yesterday, and here he goes out and drains a 3 for Illinois, but he did shoot 9 times last night. So you're starting to see a development of a kid that is gaining confidence and wants to do something on that end. And I get it as a freshman. You come in, you're like, well, hold on. I mean, we got Malcolm Hill on this team. We've got Michael Finke on this team, Matt Morgan. Those guys need to see the ball first. Now Tijon is starting to realize that I can take shots. I can do this. I can kind of run this team plus be an impact on the offensive end scoring-wise as well. And that's what I love. You're starting to see him develop and gain confidence as a guard.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, obviously, he's just got a gift to make everyone better. And Jalen Tate has that as well, but Tijon just can score.
He can.
Right? I mean, every little thing you like about Tijon or Jalen that he's got a lot of negatives, but he is special at making and distributing.
He's always been a decent distributor.
He just can't score at the rim, and he can't shoot.
Nope.
Those are 2 huge issues. And the other part is Tijon Lucas can defend.
Yes, he can.
Now, he's going to have some mistakes, but he's their best defender at that point guard position right now. So that's been fun to watch. Kipper is shooting ridiculously well, but he also gives them just that toughness on the glass. So that's been fun to watch. Those guys getting better. Maverick Morgan continues to be consistent.
He's having a special season.
Malcolm Hill had to struggle for it last night.
He did.
But he played his butt off.
He did.
He absolutely played his butt off. And even if he hasn't made plays certain games, he's missed a lot of shots here recently. There's no question of me with effort with him.
No, not at all.
Or,
not at all.
Sometimes he'll force things, but I'd rather have him do that than some other guys on
and
this
I think
team.
John Gross alluded to that after the Minnesota game, that he'll never badmouth a shot that Malcolm Hill takes.
And then another guy I thought had a really good game last night was Jalen Coleman-Lands.
He played well.
I know he didn't hit threes for your fantasy team,
right.
Ron.
That's the only issue, right?
But he had 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He's a gifted passer as well.
He is. And you know what? Rebounding wise, for his size, he knows, he has anticipation of where the ball's going. Sometimes you see that with certain players. You'll see it on the high school level, and everybody's about the same size on the high school level to where they can go get rebounds. On the college level, it's a whole different game. You can have instinct and go up against a 6'9", 6'10" guy, and you're still not going to get a rebound.
Right.
He's got that instinct, and he made a sweet pass on, I think, the biggest possession of the game late in that game when Northwestern kind of got the ball was on the left or right side of the court, and all of a sudden Jalen kind of penetrates a little, finds the wide open guy on the other one, which is Tijon. I thought that was the play of the game. It was great.
I want to give you some numbers, because is this defense getting better or their opponents just getting worse?
Okay.
Because I think that's been the key recently why they've been able to compete is their defense. These are points per possession numbers.
Okay.
And about 1 point per possession is about average.
Okay.
It's about where you want defensively. It's actually pretty good. Against Purdue, 1.28.
Okay.
That's a lot of points per possession.
And it's Purdue at Purdue, so it doesn't surprise me.
Maryland, 0.94 here.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Gave yourself a chance. Michigan, 1.15. That was a win, but you shot the lights out.
Right.
Indiana, 1.41.
Oh, yikes. Let's move on.
Ohio State, 1.03. That's winning basketball.
Yes, it is.
Maryland on the road, 1.18. That won't do it.
No.
The last 6 games, Michigan, 1.
Okay.
That was up there.
Yep.
They actually played pretty good defense. Iowa, 0.94.
Nice.
Peter Jock being hurt helped.
Yeah, that helped.
But you played really well. Penn State, 1.08. Not great the first half, phenomenal the second half. Wisconsin, 1.02. That's really good for that team.
It is.
Minnesota, 1.03. Give yourself a chance to win. Northwestern, 0.88.
Wow.
The defense
Best of
is
the year.
giving them chances to win.
That's huge.
The offense hasn't been good enough.
It hasn't.
And
It really hasn't.
But last night it was.
It was good enough to get it done, and Illinois gets it done. 68-61. We'll take your calls. We'll take your texts as well at 359-2255. We'll let you know what we've got coming up on the show today, but first we're going to get to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Down in Costa Rica, Zach joins us. How you doing, Zach?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good, buddy. Appreciate your calling.
Yeah. So I've been watching the games here online. But my question was, I was going to ask you guys, a lot of people have been talking about, playing Tate and Abrams and stuff like that, why they keep doing that. It seems like John Gross was so excited about so much depth he had this year, but it seems like depth is only good when they're athletes. Why do you think he went to such a big lineup? Why didn't he just try to stick with guys that had rhythm and played together like did last night? I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to that, but that's my question.
All right, buddy. Appreciate that, Zach. Thanks for the call.
Well, why are you watching Illinois basketball in Costa Rica?
You should be outside by the beach, right? You don't want to get too hot.
Here's my theory.
I don't think he knew enough about Tijon yet. And maybe that's his fault, not playing him much in the non-conference.
Yes. But just the overall general thoughts of why John Gross has gone to such big, he's played 10 or 11 guys certain games. It's because last year and the year before he had 7-man rotation, sometimes 6.
And it didn't work, so he thought this will work.
Well, and he just wanted it.
Sure.
I mean, can you imagine being so hamstrung that you got to play Khalid Lewis 30 minutes a game?
Yeah.
In the Big Ten? I mean, no offense to that kid.
No.
Or Jalen Tate, I had to play him that much.
That's correct.
But he's been so hamstrung with the roster with the injuries that he finally got 11, 12 kids that he thinks can play Big Ten basketball, so he wants to get them all out there. He wants to use them all. But I don't think he used them all well, because if you're going to use 10 or 12 guys, you better be pressing. You better be using all that energy, and they didn't.
They didn't at all.
And they never got, then you don't let your team get into a rhythm. So I think that hurt him. The last 2 years, I think, hurt him, that he didn't figure out, I got to find out my best 8-9 guys, and they got to play.
Yep.
I mean, for us, it's really easy. From the outside, it seems so easy this year that Thorne's not giving you anything. As much as I thought he was going to be a big part of this team, he wasn't. We saw that 12 games in. Jalen Tate, you saw that. Tijon Lucas was better than him 10, 12 games in. Why does he continue to get all this playing time? And then you saw DJ Williams and Aaron Jordan. Those guys aren't giving you much.
No.
While Kipper comes in the first couple games, and you see that kid's got something. He brings it all the time, unlike DJ.
Right.
He gives you athleticism, unlike Aaron Jordan. So it's like, okay, find your best guys. And it feels like it's just taken way too long for John Gross to figure it out.
And you mentioned that it seems easy for guys like you and I. I've had fans the entire year. I mean, I'm talking early in non-conference, asking me why John Gross is substituting like he is. Why is he substituting in the middle of this? These guys aren't even tired yet. We're bringing substitutions in. At the time, I thought, well, I guess he's finding it. He's trying to figure it out, but it took too long. And that's the unfortunate part, especially if they go on a run right now. If they do go on a run, that will be even more frustrating to Illinois fans.
Say they go 8-10.
Yeah, and
which I think they're going to win 7 or 8 games in the Big Ten.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think they'll win 7.
Okay. I thought you meant of these last. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, overall.
That's my fault.
7 and 11, 8 and 10.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
With the schedule they have remaining, I think this team can do that.
Agree.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if they win 6.
Yeah.
But I think this will be a 7 or 8 win team. And if you're an 8 win team in the Big Ten, you're going to look back at this bit. Man,
exactly. That's going to be even more frustrating.
Yeah. What were you doing?
Why all of a sudden? Why did it click? Did Allison say something? Did she just say, "Hey, John, here's what you need to do. You need to cut it down to 7 and play that way"?
Maybe you listen to us or Carp or
maybe it was Carp. The 200 level. Maybe that did it.
I listen to those guys on the Tay and J Show. Hey, if you want to weigh in, 359-2255. The Jupiters the Crossing phone line is open. The Cheap Hour text line is open at 359-2255. When we come back, we're going to do buy or sell Big Ten basketball. Because trying to figure out who the NCAA tournament teams after Purdue, Maryland, and Wisconsin is really, really difficult.
Good luck.
So we're going to try it in the 3 o'clock hour. Brad Evans is going to join us at 5:15, Yahoo Sports bracketologist. Try to figure this out. Okay. And we will ask him, what does Illinois have to do? Because I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to ask the question.
Is he going to laugh at us?
Probably.
I think he will.
But there's still a path.
There's probably...
There's still enough games left.
Tell me I got a chance.
Hey, we can only do this for so much longer.
Right.
We'll talk with Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review at 4:05, and we'll talk with Illini softball coach Tyra Perry.
Nice.
Hard to believe that it's softball or baseball season, but these teams are heading south. Tyra's softball cruise starts this weekend. I think it's down in Florida.
Okay.
But an NCAA tournament team last year.
Well, I mean, I was thinking baseball yesterday. And then today, we're thinking downhill skiing. She had a great season, by the way, went to the NCAA tournament, so we'll see how they follow that up as well. Can't wait to talk to Coach. Again, 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days. Mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's me, your finest. What, you don't know what I sound like? Well, it ain't pretty. So get a precision tune-up from the experts to save up to 30% on energy bills and keep me quietly heating all season long. Though I do have a beautiful singing voice. Oh, Danny boy.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, get $41 off a precision tune-up. For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
What are we doing for lunch today?
I know. Fat City Bar and Grill. They have a new lunch menu. I tried it yesterday, and the food's delicious. It's like Champagne's new hidden lunch spot.
Visit Fat City Bar and Grill today and check out their new lunch menu featuring the 6 for $6. That's right, 6 lunch entrees for $6. Try the chili dog with tater tots, chili mac with Texas toast, or the soup and salad lunch special. A fast, affordable lunch is waiting for you today at Fat City Bar and Grill, just off Green Street in Champaign.
Did you know that cardiovascular diseases are the #1 killer of women? In fact, more women than men die every year from heart disease and stroke. Women like us are dying of heart disease every minute. But 80% of cardiac events can be prevented with education and lifestyle changes. The Hilton Garden Inn and Conference Center on Friday, February 10th will host the Champaign Go Red for Women Luncheon, and you can learn more about the fight against heart disease. Visit heart.org/Champaign Go Red for more information. The life you save may be your own.
Got a question? Talk to our experts now at StevieJay.com. Experts are there, ready to answer your questions for free. Home improvement questions? Our experts from Kramer Siding and Windows can help. Thinking you could use some extra help with landscaping? Think Country Arbors Nursery. Experts are online, waiting to talk to you at StevieJay.com. Talk to Dr. Shu and our experts from West Main Dental to keep your smile bright. They are the Stevie J Broadcasting experts. Ask an expert today at StevieJay.com. That's StevieJay.com.
Prairie View Landscaping is in their 25th year in business. And between now and February 23rd, sign up and receive up to 25% off off your 2017 lawn care service. Not only that, but on February 24th, they'll select one winner who will receive free lawn care all year long. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Prairie View Landscaping, celebrating the 25th anniversary with SJ Broadcasting. mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
3:30 from the Sports Center Update Studio. I'm Jeremy Warner. This is brought to you by the Mettler Center. If you're looking to take your fitness to the next level, set up a free 30-minute consultation by visiting MettlerCenter.com. With a 68-61 win at Northwestern last night, the Illini accomplished something they haven't in a year. A road win.
What?
They also accomplished something they haven't in 2 years. A Big Ten road victory in regulation. Illini beat Northwestern 68-61. Really did a great job defensively down the stretch. Maverick Morgan, 11 points. Malcolm Hill, 14 and 9. Michael Finke, 11 points, all in the second half. And Tijon Lucas, 11 points and 6 assists for the freshman. Despite wide speculation about his future job status, John Gross said he's trying to focus his team on the present.
Just trying to absorb the moment. That's a challenge, as I said on the presser that I had before we came here. Because everybody wants to, a lot of people want to talk about the past, which you have no control over. You want to talk about the future, which you also have no control over. So you've got to stay in the moment. I thought our guys did that, but at the end of the day, Shannon, I do think, hopefully we can gain some momentum from it.
Illinois still in 13th place in the Big Ten at 4-8, though there are, 9 teams between 4 and 6 wins in the Big Ten right now. Illinois hosts Penn State on Saturday afternoon. Tonight in the Big Ten, Rutgers is at Ohio State. Iowa is at Minnesota. In the Valley, Illinois State routed Drake last night. Tonight, Southern Illinois is on the road. Bulls play the Warriors tonight in Oakland, but they will be without Jimmy Butler, who's missing his 3rd straight game with a right heel contusion. Also could be without Dwayne Wade, who is sick. That could be a fun game for the Golden State Warriors.
Wow. Oh, well, if you're going to be bad against one team, you're not going to beat them anyway, right?
Draft status.
Exactly. Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay and Jeremy Warner. I just dared to dream. 6 wins.
Carp's sitting there going, guys.
Tay, don't do it.
We only have so many more opportunities to do this, right?
Yeah, if they run the table, they're...
No, they won, so there's this path.
If they run the table, they're 20-11, 10-8.
They're in.
They'd be in.
I mean, it wouldn't be I think they'd be like an 11 seed.
Yeah, you'd have to win 4 more road games. Or
12 seed, or maybe a first 4 in.
Right.
But, that many, and they'd beat Northwestern again.
Yeah.
You'd have a Michigan State win. You don't have a lot of bad losses. Winthrop and maybe Penn State on the road. I don't know if it's a bad win.
You'd have to win. You'd have to win 4 road games. That I don't see that happen.
Well, 3. Iowa.
Oh no, I'm
Nebraska.
Sorry. Yeah,
Rutgers.
I was counting Northwestern.
I mean, I don't see it happen.
I don't either. All right, I don't.
I mean, because Scotty Lindsey was out.
Yeah.
The last 2, but at least your last 2 wins, the leading scorers on those teams,
that's helped.
Were both either not there or really, really banged up.
That has really helped. We like that. 359
kind of puts it in even playing field there.
359-2255. Buy or sell here in a moment with Jeremy and I. We're going to run through some of these teams in the Big Ten and see if we feel like they're an NCAA tournament team. Right now, let's head to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Tom is in Champaign. How are you, Tom?
Hey, pretty good, guys. How are you?
We're great, buddy.
The question I got is if Gross does lose his job by chance, which I know Champaign Nation is hoping he doesn't, but what if he does, what happens to those top recruiters that he's got coming in? Are they going to stay, or are we going to go through this crap again of trying to find players to cover them? I'm just kind of curious on that. I'll hang up and listen to your guys' comments.
All right, Tom. I always appreciate people hanging up and continuing to listen. I've always heard that my whole life, and I'm like, that's all. Can you imagine calling a show and you're like, I've got a question, but I'm going to flip channels.
Yeah.
I don't care one bit what Lante thinks about my question.
One, I disagree with this premise that fans are wanting him to stay.
I wonder if he said that wrong. Maybe
no,
not.
I think he thought that Illinois fans wanted him to stay.
I think the majority of the fans want him gone.
80-something%?
Yes. I don't think there's any doubt with that. What happens to the recruits is what he's asking. We don't know.
I mean, it depends on who the coach is.
Yep.
Who's the new coach? What ties does he have to these recruits? Do these recruits really want to be at Illinois?
Right.
Does it matter? Does keeping Jamal Walker, an assistant who recruited most of these guys, affect them? For Jeremiah Tillman, it does.
Yes.
I think if Jamal Walker is on this staff, I bet Jeremiah Tillman is here.
Explain
which I
this
think is
again.
going to be a big consideration. Jamal Walker recruited him.
Mm-hmm. No, not like that. I want, because we've explained this 100 times, because there's going to be people out there saying, well, then just have Josh Whitman keep Jamal Walker. You can't do that. You have to let the brand new coach, if there is a new coach, you have to let them decide who they want as a staff. Now, you can strongly suggest that Jamal Walker would be a smart reason to keep.
Well, and I think it's different than the whole Jarence Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's like, keep Jarence on staff, keep Jarence on staff. He's landing these great recruits who don't do anything at Illinois. Sorry.
No, I'm with you.
But Jamal Walker has a 5-star guy.
Yes.
A 5-star guy.
That doesn't happen often.
Dustin Ford recruited Trent Frazier, who's a very good point guard. I'd be excited to see him here.
Yes.
But it's different when you have a 5-star kid from your state.
Agree.
Who probably is going to have a great chance to play in the pros after 2 or 3 years in college. I think he'll probably want to go after 2, but he might need 3. So it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. And I think any coach that wants to have success at Illinois knows he needs to have some talent.
Right.
And why would I not want to keep a 5-star talent? And if I have an open spot in my staff, why wouldn't I try to keep Jamal Walker?
Makes sense to
who
me.
has recruited some of the best players, the best recruits Illinois has recruited here, whether it was Laron Black,
Yes.
Jalen Coleman-Lands, Javon Pickett that is coming in here, but Jeremiah Tillman most importantly.
And even though he wasn't the key guy on a guy like Trent Frazier, at least it's someone that Frazier knows.
Yes.
And I think that can be important. Now, again, it all depends, Tom, on who the next coach is.
Yeah.
If there is a coaching change made, if a coach comes in here and these recruits think, that's not the guy. Let's say Bo Ryan. I'm laughing about this, so just don't laugh at me. Let's say a Bo Ryan came in that played that style. Then some of these recruits might think that's not the style I want. That's not going to fit me. I'm not going to play that much, or if I do, I'm not going to look important in it. That's a really crazy scenario there because Bo Ryan's not coming. But that's an example of what I mean, is the sense that if the coach comes in and they feel like they can play in his system, or if they have a general idea about him, that helps.
And Josh Whitman's major question is, do I feel that John Gross, if he's got Tillman, and everyone talks about all these recruits, well, DeMonte Williams is a nice prospect.
Sure.
But he's not like a slam dunk future star in the Big Ten.
Right.
Javon Pickett, I think, is a role player.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think Trent Frazier could be very good.
I do too.
I think Jeremiah Tillman obviously can be very good eventually.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be right away.
And even Mark Smith, we're not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good prospect. I'd be
great.
really excited about that class. But if John Gross misses the NCAA tournament, which is likely this year, that'd be 4 straight. And you're going to say, all that guy needs is talent.
Right.
After he's had some talent and not able to get the most out of it the last couple of years. And then you might go into next year with a roster that likely isn't going to make the NCAA tournament again.
So that would be 5 straight years.
So his big question is, do I think John Gross with those recruits is the best way to go with this roster going forward? Or is it a new coach who can try and keep these recruits in this roster and then possibly just be a better coach and a better recruiter and all those things? For me right now, and doesn't change after last night, option B sounds a lot better to me.
I mean,
you might lose a guy. You might lose 2 guys.
You had an undecided decision last year. That would have been a tough decision for any AD because of the injuries that occurred. This year, no injuries. This year, you had a roster. You had guys coming back, and it seems like the entire year it's just been dysfunctional, to say the least. So that, to me, screams back to the coach and the coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation over and over again.
That's exactly right. So,
all right, buy or sell Big Ten basketball. Lon, can we get some NCAA tournament,
you want some tournament
music? Because I don't know who's going to do anything in this NCAA tournament coming up.
Wouldn't it be fun to hear this noise again and be like, oh, wow, hey, grab the pop.
Where's Illinois going?
Grab a beer, because I think Illinois, I've got my bracket filled out. I've got them in the West.
All right, safe to say Wisconsin, probably a top 3 seed?
Yeah.
Maybe 4?
Maybe top 4.
I think they're creeping up.
Okay.
And I think they're going to roll at the end of this Big Ten schedule.
History shows you that the victor of the Big Ten normally is given a pretty good seed.
Yeah, I think
they'll be top 3.
Purdue, 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah,
I think.
It's scary. I would not want to be in Purdue's bracket.
Maryland, 4 or 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that,
I have no idea.
All these teams still have something to worry about. Right now, Northwestern would definitely be in the tournament. They're 18-6, 7-4. They're 43rd in the RPI, 31 in the KenPom.
Okay.
But they have at Wisconsin this weekend.
Ooh.
Maryland.
Okay, so hold on. 7-5. Maryland at home?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Rutgers at home, at Illinois, at Indiana, Michigan, and Purdue.
11-7, I've got them.
So you're buying Northwestern.
I'm buying
as an NCAA
Northwestern.
tournament. Scotty Lindsey with the mono.
Yeah,
that can knock you out for a while.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, he's been out 2 games.
Right.
And usually that takes some time to recover from. So that's scary.
It is.
I mean, they could lose the next 2 games. Probably beat Rutgers.
I'm telling you right now, with the game at Wisconsin, I'm like, Scotty, you just stay home and relax, eat some chicken noodle soup. We're not going to win that with you.
And I get it, Illinois, if Scotty Lindsey comes down here, it's a different team.
There's no
they
doubt.
could win that game, but that's a road game.
Yeah.
And Indiana, that's a tough place to win. Michigan at home. Michigan's playing a little bit better.
This is a tough schedule.
And Purdue, they might be 9-9 going into the Big Ten.
9-9.
And if they're 9-9, I still think they're okay.
Yes.
And they're probably on the bubble because the bubble is so weak. I think the committee will want Northwestern in. But if they go 1-5, they're on the wrong side of this. It's possible with Scotty Lindsey and their schedule left, but I will still buy them. I think Northwestern will get to 21 wins, probably 10-8 at least in the Big Ten.
It's funny you said that, and I'd never thought of that the tournament, we hope that the tournament committee doesn't do that kind of stuff.
Come on.
But
It's a
know
great
they
story,
do, and it is a great
opening
story.
weekend.
Yep.
Northwestern in its first NCAA tournament.
I haven't thought about that. So yeah, I think they definitely have that little thing going.
Which I feel bad for John Scherna. I mean, those teams were like 9-9.
I know,
and just never could get in.
I know.
Right.
Evan Eschmeyer back in the day.
So Northwestern we're buying. Iowa 14-10, 6-5 in the Big Ten.
Good for Fran McCaffrey.
9-7 or 97 in the RPI and 70 in the KenPom. That's not good.
Okay.
They got home against Minnesota, at Michigan State, Illinois and Indiana at home, at Maryland, at Wisconsin, home against Penn State.
I am not buying Iowa.
I am selling them as well. That's a tough schedule.
Yes.
And I mean, this has been a nice run. They got some nice young players, and I think they're going to be good in a year or two.
This is the kind of season you hope for when you bring in, like next year for Illinois, when you've got some freshmen that are playing. You hope you're just competitive. You hope you win a few games, maybe steal one here that you shouldn't have. You lose one you probably shouldn't have. That's the kind of thing that starts to grow character and build a team. That's what I was doing. I think Fran McCaffrey's doing a great job with that team this year, and they've got some talent coming up.
This one's interesting.
Of course, Peter Jock is really good, too.
So we both sell Iowa.
Yes.
Michigan State.
Okay, you're going to have to go slow on this one because I really have to do this in my head.
14-10, 6-5 in the Big Ten.
Okay.
Coming up, Iowa and Ohio State at home.
7-8.
At Purdue. 7-8.
No, I mean, I'm
7-5.
doing the wins. 8-5. 8-6.
At Purdue.
Yeah, I've already got them 8-6 after that one.
Nebraska, Wisconsin at home. At Illinois and at Maryland. I don't like this team. But they have Tom Izzo.
And they're in. I'm buying them. I'm buying. Because right now they're going to get, 7, 8, 9. They're going to get to 10 wins.
You know who is most comparable to Michigan State with their KenPom and RPI?
Minnesota?
Illinois.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Illinois 66 in the KenPom. Michigan State's 57. Illinois 54 in the RPI. Michigan State 49.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
But if Michigan State were 8-10, the Big Ten, and Illinois is 9-9, who do you think's getting in?
Michigan State. Yeah. I mean, and they have a couple of nice wins, and they lost Bridges for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference. That's their best player.
Well, Illinois played Jalen Tate for a while. So.
That's a good point.
No.
Indiana. A great point.
God, we're just railing on that kid. It's not about you, John.
No doubt, man. Poor Jalen.
I apologize.
Come on.
Indiana, 15-9, 5-6 in the Big Ten, 75 RPI, 41 KenPom. Purdue and Michigan at home, at Minnesota and at Iowa. Northwestern at home, at Purdue, at Ohio State.
They're going to be 9-9. They're going to be 9-9
without a Nobi, man.
Oh boy! If they go 9-9, that's 4 more wins. That's 19.
They still got 4 road games. That's what worries me with this team.
Well, this is a hard one. They're going to be. They're going to.
I'm going to sell Indiana. Without a Nobi, I'm selling this team.
Okay, Purdue and Michigan at home. I think they're going to win those 7-6.
You think they're going to beat Purdue at home?
I do. Okay. It's that game, It's just that game. They'll come out.
I mean, usually I'd be like, yeah, Indiana wins every home game.
But you're
right
without
a
Nobi. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to buy them then. But I want to.
I don't want to talk you into this.
No, I'm not. Here's what I'm going to do though. At the end, I can reverse one team.
Okay.
Because the Big Ten's got to have a few teams in the NCAA
I think
tournament.
they'll get 6 or 7.
Okay.
I think they'll probably get 7.
Indiana will get 9 wins, but I'm not sure that they'll be in.
Michigan. 15-9 overall, 5-6 Big Ten, 76 RPI, but 30 in the Ken Pom. At Indiana, Wisconsin at home, at Minnesota, at Rutgers, Purdue at home, at Northwestern, at Nebraska.
No, they're not in.
I'm buying them.
Are you really?
Beeline, man. And DJ Wilson.
I don't think they beat Indiana. They're not going to beat Wisconsin at home. So now they're 5-7 or 5-8. Then they can.
I think they'll win a game. You're not.
They're not going to beat. They're not going to.
I
mean, they've got Wisconsin and Purdue at home, but I see Wisconsin and Purdue beating them. Michigan
and Indiana are really difficult for me.
Yeah, I just don't have it with Michigan.
Okay.
So no, they're out.
This one I think is pretty easy. Penn State 13-12 overall, 5-7 Big Ten, 79 RPI, Ken Pom 92. Selling?
No.
Really
I'm selling. Yeah, no.
I mean,
young team, but they've had a good season.
Yeah, they got Purdue, Minnesota, Ohio State, Iowa to end the year. They got at Illinois, at Nebraska.
They've got about everybody back next year.
Yeah, they'll be good next year.
So that will be an interesting team to watch.
It's kind of like Northwestern this year.
Yep, I agree.
Minnesota 16-9, 4-6 overall, 25 RPI, Ken Pom 38. They're just 4-6 in the Big Ten. They still got 8 Big Ten games left.
Wow.
While Illinois just has 6. That's just part of the schedule right now. I'm buying them.
I am too.
Their resume is really good to start the year. We could go down the list but they got a lot of winnable games.
Yep, I agree.
If they get to 8-10, 9-9 in the Big Ten, I think they'll make it.
And I think they get 9-9. So Minnesota's in for me.
Ohio State 14-10, 4-7 Big Ten, 71 RPI, 60 Ken Pom. Rutgers at home, at Maryland, at Michigan State, Nebraska, Wisconsin at home, at Penn State, Indiana at home.
No, I don't. Even at home, I don't feel comfortable with this team beating like a Wisconsin. And you've got some tough road games there with Maryland, and I don't think they win at Michigan State. So no.
So what do you think they end up?
I think
7-11.
Let's see, 5, 6, 7, and whatever. 7-11.
7-11.
That's it.
Illinois 14-11.
Can we go
4-8.
slow on this?
Penn State.
Yes, that's a win. So that's 5-8. 5-8.
At Iowa.
Yes, I don't like Iowa.
Whoa!
I don't like Iowa.
That's another road victory, Juan.
6-8.
Northwestern at home.
No. Lindsey's back. I think those two teams were destined to split. So what would that be?
I have a Penn State win.
Okay.
At Iowa loss.
Okay. And a Northwestern win?
Win.
Okay. So we've got the same result, but different ways of getting there.
At Nebraska. I got a win. They're making a run, man. They're making a run.
They're going to split with Nebraska, Michigan State. I don't know how they'll do it.
Okay.
So
I got a loss to Michigan State.
Okay. Then I'll take the.
So that would put them.
I'll take the win against Michigan State at home.
So we have them both. What at that point? 3 wins. So 7 and 10 going into the Rutgers game.
Yeah.
And they'll win that Rutgers game.
Right, I do. Yeah. So they'll be 8 and 10,
and they'll have a chance.
8 and 10.
I'm selling.
That would make it what? That'd make them 18 and whatever overall.
Doesn't have fun to say they'll be 8 and 10 though. Like, hey, they could be 8 and 10
after sitting at a 4 and 8. That looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think they'll go 7-11 or 8.
So who did I have in? I had Northwestern in.
So we bought Northwestern. We bought Michigan State.
Yeah.
You bought Indiana.
Right.
I bought Michigan. And we both bought Minnesota.
Okay, so
that's all right. 7 teams.
Yeah, that's 7 teams.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's that.
So where do you think Illinois finishes in the Big Ten?
Oh man, if you're 7 and whatever,
11, you got tied for like a 5-way tie for 10th.
Wouldn't it just be about right? You'll tie with what? Penn State. Well, Rutgers will be at the end.
Will Illinois play on Wednesday of the Big Ten tournament, which is teams 11 through 14?
No. I think they'll go, what'd we say, 4-2 down the stretch here? I think that gets them into a Thursday game. Yeah.
Goals. Got goals, guys.
Instead of having to win 5,
what do the kids
you
call
just
it?
win
Squad
4.
goals?
Squad goals.
Do we bring the ladder back or do we just keep that away?
Keep that away.
That did not work.
That didn't work. Whatever you did last night.
What can we do instead of a ladder?
What was last night? He's staying in the moment?
Yeah.
We need to think of something that you'd stay in the moment.
He focused on like a week, and that was too much. That was too much to handle. And then he just said, yeah, we're going to stay in the moment.
How about just no, that wouldn't work. I was going to say.
Text him in.
A calendar that you only have one day showing.
That's like a Far Side.
Let's flip
comic.
that calendar. Like at the end of practice, flip Flip that thing!
What should we trade the ladder in for, guys? Text them in at 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255.
This is awesome. Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald Review, is going to join us next hour, but we're back to wrap up hour one next. It's the Tay and J Show.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted bundles. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
Vapors E-Cigs LLC thinks it's time that you take a permanent vacation from smoking tobacco. Take a permanent vacation away from cigarettes at Vapors E-Cigs LLC. You'll smell better, you'll breathe better, and you'll feel better. Come in today and taste the difference with a premium electronic vape. Get started for less than a carton of cigarettes at Vapor E-Cigs. Find them in Champaign across from Marketplace Mall, at 2 West Main Street in Danville, and on South Century Boulevard in Rantoul. Guys, don't wait until the last minute this year. Impress her. Valentine's Day will be here before you know it. Not sure what to get the one that you love? Timothy John Salon and Spa has the answer. A relaxing facial, a manicure, pedicure, or cut and color. Just a few options that Timothy John Salon and Spa offers. Treat the one you love to a day of pampering. Purchase gift certificates in any amount and get her something she will truly love from Timothy John Salon and Spa. 404 West Green Street and online at tjsalonandspa.com.
The Hub is Champaign-Urbana's newest place for pregame, postgame, and just hanging out with friends. And now, the Hub introduces their new $8 lunch menu with all your favorites. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, tacos, and flatbreads. That's right, $8 lunch Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Skip the line to the fast food joint and enjoy the Hub's delicious $8 lunch every weekday. The $8 lunch, only at the Hub, with free on-site parking at 601 South 1st Street in Champaign. View their full menu online at thehubchampaign.com. Hey guys, Mike Carpenter from the Tay and J Show, and for this Illinois basketball season, we have a brand new show on ESPN 93.5 called The 200 Level. Ride the roller coaster with myself and Steve Breitweiser each Monday night at 6, right after the Tay and J Show, every Monday through the NCAA tournament. The 200 Level is brought to you by DP Doe, Shambana Sales, Cheap Hour Service Experts, and Heiser Allstate Agency. The 200 Level, Monday nights at 6, beginning January 9th, only on ESPN 93.5 and streaming online at ESPNCU.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Ooh, I just did a dance. I just did the Heisman Desmond Howard dance.
Yeah, that's why you watch the stream on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. We didn't go through the particulars, by the way. 359-2255.
There you go.
You can download the WSJK app. You can get our podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes, all powered by GTPS Insurance. And our interns today, Harry Black and Tyler Knight. By the way, Harry at some point.
Yeah, I told him yesterday.
Did you tell him?
I told him yesterday. We want him on the air.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't think there's a lot going on tonight in sports.
Does he know that he's getting, I mean, you can't fire an intern.
Yeah.
But did you tell him that Friday's his last day?
No, I did not.
Oh, he's laughing, but I'm dead serious. There was like this, what do you call that initial?
I love when Juan tries to be tough.
It's the probation period, and you didn't pass, my friend.
Yeah, so we can fire you until this moment.
Gone.
Yeah.
You're gone.
But no, Harry's was a walk-on player at Illinois football, offensive lineman. I'd love to go through the life of an offense, like a walk-on football player.
I agree.
In the Big Ten.
Do walk-on football players eat ramen noodles?
Bring some good stories here.
Yeah, clean.
Well, they can be semi.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
Questionable.
Just start calling your teammates out. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
We wouldn't let you do
Air it all out. Air it all out. So we'll do that at some point. Next hour, Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald Review will join us, and Illini softball coach Tyra Perry as well.
We got some interesting ones in. We're asking you. John Gross right now is going with the catchphrase. I think he's bypassed the ladder now, and Jeremy's throwing the ladder out. But now John
I'm a
Gross
Werner. I can throw out the ladder.
Right, you can do that. It's your company. So John Gross, there's probably somebody out there that goes, I didn't know that. I didn't know Jeremy Werner actually owned that company. He does that. He's the COO, and then he comes in and does this.
And the trucking company.
Right.
It's just an enterprise.
He is loaded.
Yeah.
totally loaded. But John Gross now said last night, we're living in the moment. There's nothing. We can't look in the past. You can't change anything in the past. We're not looking to the future. You can't change anything in the future. I guess you could.
Yeah.
But right now, we're living in the moment. So we asked you, what's the new shtick?
Somebody said hashtag Groundhog Day.
I like it.
Yeah. I said, let's do it again. If Today Was Your Last Day by Nickelback, Tony said.
Goodness.
Just play that over and over again.
Just a loop at the oven center.
A 217 texter. 40 minutes for the next 40 years of your life.
That was a movie, wasn't it?
I do not want your life. Vanderbeek was so good. Phil from Rantoul, trade the ladder for a high chair because I feel baby steps are all we can handle at this point.
I kind of like Phil.
I'm not going to say the one. That was really
mean.
Bad.
That was terrible.
217 texter. I want a flow chart that is so hard to understand that the players say, forget this, let's just play.
Let's just play and have fun. Boom. I like that.
Max and Urbana. Bill Belichick's no days off. No days off. Did you see that yesterday?
He's like a robot,
Did you see it?
Yes.
I love that Bill Belichick started a chant, and it was no days off. I just imagine Thibodeau doing that when he wins a championship.
And everybody just like,
do your job. Do your job.
People are like, really, Bill? I mean, you've won at a high level. Just take
217 texter. Trade the ladder for a mountain.
Wow.
Considering it will take a monumental run to make the tourney.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want him to be like, oh, this ain't happening.
Right.
Which I think some fans are like, hey, stop winning. Don't win.
Maybe that's what you do if you're John Gross. You throw the ball down today and you say, you know what? I know you won last night, but you can't do it again. I know you can't do it again.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll work.
I know you can't do it again. I bet you can't beat Penn State at home.
How about you just play the same 8 guys?
Yeah, right.
That might be the best
Maybe
thing.
Wake up and eat your Cheerios or whatever you ate that morning.
Can we trade the ladder in for Quanzo Martin?
Is that who everybody wants?
Just have a cardboard cutout of Quanzo?
Right.
Or should you have like a cardboard cutout of like the bad coaching candidate?
Yes.
That, hey, this could be your coach.
Right. That's the way to do it.
If you don't win games next year, this is your coach.
See, I like what we're doing here.
Like, who would be the scary guy?
Who would be the guy you would not want as your coach?
Bruce Pearl.
Yeah. Well, we as fans would hate that.
Yeah, I don't know if the players would.
I don't know who would be that guy. I really don't. Dave Bliss? That's terrible.
Dave Rice?
Dave Rice?
Or is it Mike Rice?
It was Mike Rice, right? Wasn't Dave Bliss the Baylor coach?
Yeah. Somebody just asked, do you buy the stock of Tony Bennett coming to Illinois?
I mean, that'd be fantastic. I just don't think you get it.
I mean, that would cost like $4.5 just to get in the conversation, I would imagine.
Right.
And everyone's like, he needs to flee the ACC. It's too difficult. He's won the ACC 2 of the last 3 years. He's in second place right now. He finished second last year. The only one that can beat him is Roy Williams.
It'd be awesome. I've got some buddies that want him so bad. I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either. I really don't. I don't see it happening. Mark Tepper, Decatur Herald Review, 405. Don't forget, we're going to talk to Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports. He's always fun. We'll ask him, does Illinois still have a heartbeat of the NCAA tournament? We'll do that at 5:15. But Mark Tepper's next. It is the Tay and J Show.
We're taking you out to the ball game to see the 2016 World Series champions. ESPN 93.5 is sending you on an all-expense-paid trip to Mesa, Arizona for Cubs spring training. So get out of the dugout and register to win now at Rosati's Pizza on Gregory and Urbana, Vapors E-Cigs LLC in Champaign, Danville, and Rantoul. Register today at Champaign Surplus in downtown Champaign, Honda BMW in Savoy, or at the U of I Meat Sales Room on Maryland Avenue in Urbana. The more you register, the more chances you have to win. Our Grand Slam Cubs spring training trip includes $1,000 cash in airfare or gas money. 3 nights at the Sheraton in Mesa, rental car included, exclusive post-game dinner with select players, tickets to 2 games, and custom Cubs merchandise. Don't take a rain check on this contest. Register now to win. Get rules, details, and a full list of registration locations at ESPNCU.com.
Are you at your best when the whistle blows? With Carl Sports Medicine, you can jump higher, run faster, and be on your game every time. Take advantage of our professional athletic training services, plus injury prevention and free sports medicine walk-in clinics with injury experts. Get ready to reach your personal best. Visit carl.org/sportsmedicine or call 217-383-3300. Carl Carl, official medical provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
It's here again, guys. Valentine's Day is next week, and you know what that means. Time to start thinking about the perfect gift. Or you can simply trust the experts at Sherry's Berries like I do. Picture your sweetheart when you surprise her at home or her office with decadent dipped strawberries made just for her. I scored major points last year by sending these amazing, unforgettable treats to my wife. She loved them. Hey, you have a unique Valentine. She deserves a one-of-a-kind gift, right? Well, this is it. These berries are ripe, juicy, and delicious. They come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, topped with irresistible toppings like chocolate chips and chopped nuts. And check this out. Right now, you can get Sherry's Berries for $19.99 plus shipping. That's juicy, gourmet, freshly dipped berries starting at $19.99. Go ahead and double your order for $9.99 more. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is almost here, and this offer expires soon. To get this amazing deal, go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner, and use code 4747. That's berries.com, code 4747. Berries.com, code 4747.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals. The Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. The U.S. Senate set to vote on the nominee for Attorney General after the latest round of confirmation controversy. Fox Radio's Jared Halpern live on the Hill.
Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren was ordered to sit out much of this debate after Republican leaders concluded she violated a rule about impugning fellow senators. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer responds,
"There is a shocking double standard here when it comes to speech."
Warren and several other Democrats since have been quoting a letter written 3 decades ago by Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow, opposing Jeff Sessions' bid at that time to be a federal judge.
What we've seen in this debate is also the questioning of people's motives, not just their decisions.
Missouri Republican Roy Blunt is also critical of Democrats' efforts to delay confirmation votes. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. An Arizona man who says he did nothing gets 30 years in prison for supporting ISIS by encouraging a failed attack on a Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest in Texas. Prosecutors say Abdul Karim provided the guns for the 2 attackers who were shot and killed by police. The National Weather Service just confirming one of several tornadoes that hit Louisiana yesterday was an EF3, the most powerful ever in Orleans Parish.
We think that potentially 5,143 structures were impacted in some way.
New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu saying more than 900 structures were seriously damaged or destroyed. He's hoping for a federal disaster declaration. In New Orleans alone, more than 30 people were injured. At least 1 tornado also confirmed in Mississippi. Parts of the Northeast could get a foot of snow in a short time, a lot of it during tomorrow's morning rush, as temperatures plunge by about 40 degrees. A mix on Wall Street, the Dow down 35, but another record for the NASDAQ. Fair and balanced.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, Pro Flowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from Pro Flowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3535.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
No decision today from the federal appeals court that's considering whether to leave the president's immigration order blocked as legal challenges continue.
If at some point the president doesn't have the power, as given to him in law, to protect this country, I think that really questions what a slippery slope we're on.
White House spokesman Sean Spicer. 2 key questions were raised in court. Fox's John Roberts at the White House.
Do the states of Washington and Minnesota have the standing to file a suit in district court in Seattle on behalf of a group of individuals that are being harmed, as opposed to the state itself being harmed? And then the second one is, what was the president's intent when he signed this executive order? Intent was a big part of the discussion last night. Even Judge Clifton who was the lone Republican on that 3-judge panel, wanted to know if everything that the president said during the course of the campaign about a Muslim ban should just be ignored. Basically, the president's words during the campaign now coming back to haunt him as president.
Government lawyers arguing it can't be a Muslim ban if the vast majority of Muslims aren't affected. Intel is one of the tech companies opposing the travel restrictions, but that didn't stop President Trump from meeting with the Intel chief to talk jobs. CEO Brian Krzanich announcing in the Oval Office that the company will invest $7 billion in an Arizona factory.
Fab 42 is an investment in Intel, but also the U.S.'s future in innovation and leadership in the semiconductor industry.
He says existing tax and regulation policies left the company at a competitive disadvantage. A day after she was confirmed with a tiebreaker by the vice president, Education Chief Betsy DeVos addressing workers in her department.
While we may have disagreements, we can and must come together, find common ground, and put the needs of students first.
She's vowing to challenge the status quo, but also to listen. Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a furnace expert? Call Chief Bauer Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS, or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Winter weather advisory in effect in Champaign, Urbana, and the surrounding area. Expect occasional snow to end at about 7:30 tonight, a low of 14. Tomorrow clears up, sunny, high 25, low of 18. Should melt on Friday, mostly sunny, high 46, a low of 39. Then Saturday, it'll be 60 degrees and rainy.
It's about right.
Illinois, man.
It's
Illinois.
crazy.
Right now, snowy, 28 degrees in Champaign, Urbana.
If you could play one instrument in a band, in a really popular band, be guitar?
Guitar.
Yeah, because they're the guys up there, right?
I know what you're going to pick.
I'm picking drum.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, man. But that wouldn't fit my, egotistical style. I mean, I'd want to be up. I want people to know me.
You'd be Phil Collins.
Yeah, I'd go from drum. I'd be able to sing.
You'd be in the front.
That'd be cool.
With a microphone in front of you.
That's sweet.
Which is the most impressive thing.
I agree, man. To be able to sing as well as he does plus drum.
Yeah, because
I'm with you.
That's an aerobic exercise.
Right. Hey, I've always said when that happens, and I used to say this was my midlife crisis, this radio show, but when my midlife crisis hits, whenever that is, I'm buying a drum set, and I'm going to beat the hell out of it every night. I'm just going to sit there and just strike those drums as hard as I can every night. I'll be the best shape the best shape in Central Illinois.
Great exercise.
It really is.
It's very rare to see a chubby drummer.
No, that's right. And if you are, we apologize.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Illinois. And hey, we can be a little positive today.
Why not?
We can put out there, even though we know it's probably not going to happen. Hey, if they go 6-0 here,
10 wins overall.
They go 5-1. They give themselves a chance.
They
right?
do.
Yeah.
9-9.
Never know.
Let's see what Mark Tupper has to say. You want to? I think he'll bring us back in the loop a little bit. It is time to visit Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review.
Got a good reason. We're talking Illini sports now with Mark Tupper.
Yeah.
A Illini rider, yeah. He's been here so long, knows a lot. So let's chat now.
Mark Tupper, follow him on Twitter at Mark Tupper. How are you, my friend?
Doing good, Lon. How are you? Hi, Jeremy.
We are great. We're just trying to figure out what the weather's going to do next, Mark. We just we say it's drunk.
It's snowing hard here.
I know.
Here too.
Kind of pretty. I guess it is February. Why not?
No, Mark, it was actually fun to cover something different, and to cover a win, and to cover John Gross making the necessary changes to the rotation that I think most of us had seen for the last couple weeks.
Well, I agree. I mean, I like that he trimmed it down. He didn't play Jalen Tate. He didn't play Mike Thorne. He started Aaron Jordan, but he only played a couple minutes, had no impact on the game, and really stuck with 8 guys, and they all, in a way, contributed to this thing. And I liked I thought it was the closest to the word. John uses words and cliches and things, and one of them is connected. He talks about wanting his team to be connected. I thought last night was actually close to visualizing what that word can mean. That I like the fact that in the final minutes of the game, no one really tried to make sure they were the one that got the big shot. People seemed more interested in getting the big assist, and I thought that they just manufactured contributions. Malcolm was the perfect example to me, because that was a weird first half, only one field goal attempt, no points. And then in the second half, all 14 points, plus he ends up with 9 rebounds and assists and steals, and that block shot on the dunk attempt by McIntosh was terrific. And I liked the way they played. They were the most like a group of guys playing team basketball that I can remember for quite a while.
Yeah, and it has to point back to that rotation thing, doesn't it? Because it seems like, and Jeremy and I talked about this with John Gross, the last 2 years, Mark, he hasn't had that ability to go out and play 9 or 10 guys, and this year he has had that ability, but it seemed like we, as the common fan or the media person, saw it a lot sooner than he did, that he needed to narrow it. Why all of a sudden now? Why all of a sudden do we realize that this is the right thing to do?
I don't know. I mean, some of it may come from desperation. Some of it may come from understanding that Tijon can and should get those minutes, that Kipper Nichols can and should get more minutes. I think he should still get more, that you don't have to rotate one center and then the other center and then back again. You can play without Thorne. I just, there's a lot of things going on there behind the scenes, I'm sure, in conversations that have led them in this direction. But, it made sense for me to just pare this thing down and play fewer people and let the people who are playing well play the most.
Tup, sometimes Malcolm doesn't always execute, but I've noticed it, for a while now. He plays his butt off. I mean, he is playing so hard to try to not be the guy who misses the NCAA tournament every year. I mean, he is just playing his butt off.
He is, and I think he's a little frustrated, and he knows that it's a long shot and that his dream may escape him, but, I credit him a lot because he doesn't get hung up on the fact that he's the leading scorer. I think sometimes there's a little bit of a dilemma for him because he wants to be the older, responsible guy who's willing to take the difficult shots. But like last night, he was looking for people. He was trying to impact the game on the boards. He was just doing anything he could to make a positive play for his team, and maybe that's part of it too. When you have that guy, your captain, your leading scorer, setting that kind of an example, maybe other people follow. The line in the box score that was really interesting was Coleman Lands, who, he didn't shoot much, which is not a bad thing considering the way he's been shooting, but he ends up with 5 rebounds, 5 points, and 5 assists. And makes some pretty big plays. The assist he got shoveling the ball to
Tijon, right?
Lucas under the basket. That was a nice play.
Huge. And I think a huge play in that game.
It was just nice. And you know what? Those guys were going to get on the bus last night and probably sing and joke and laugh all the way home. And I was talking to somebody that had been to Penn State with them on the plane. I said, "How was that plane ride?" He said, "Man, you could have heard a pin drop."
Oh, I bet.
Nothing. And they've been on a lot of those. And so, whatever you feel about anybody or anything, you don't want to see people suffer unduly. And they were overdue for a good feeling. And it, it's amplified a little bit that it was at Northwestern.
Yeah. Northwestern, obviously, without Scotty Lindsey, that played a huge role. I think last night that they really struggled offensively, but Illinois took advantage of that. What do you think a win does for this team, if anything?
For the Illinois team?
Yes.
I don't know that it does anything more than than the one win. The circumstances with Lindsey out, you have to take that into consideration. He's really, really had a great season, makes a big difference, really exposes Northwestern. I thought last night as a team that didn't have a bench that could compensate for him, and they've won one game And so some people are going to say, well, mathematically, they're still in it. Mathematically, a lot of things are possible in the NCAA tournament. Everybody gets a free start. You win your conference tournament, you run the table in the NCAA tournament, you're the national champs. And so anything is possible. But I still, even though you look at the schedule and there are victories sitting there, if you could pull them off, there's also losses there, and it could be home losses. You know, we talk a lot about how poorly they played on the road and played all that great at home. And so, you know, Penn State just beat Maryland. That's not going to be an easy game Saturday.
No.
Northwestern, when they come back on the 21st, Lindsey's going to return next Wednesday. I was hearing last night. He'll be back in the lineup. They'll be very much revenge-minded. They've got a lot on the line this season, and I don't care how miserable Michigan State looked last night.
Right.
They're gonna be hard to beat. And even you get right down to the last game of the season at Rutgers. You know, Rutgers has played well at times, so there's no gimmies in this group. It is easier than it was early when you were playing Purdue and Michigan and Indiana and all that. But it's this team. They got to show me more than winning one game when the other team's best player's out.
He's Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. Follow him on Twitter at Mark Tupper. Mark, we've seen a lot of these, and you know, during the last month where a guy's on the hot seat and most likely on his way out, it can go a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And it's been interesting, I thought, the last couple press conferences where John Gross has kind of, not directly, but kind of referenced what we all know, and that he's on the hot seat and that his time might be short here. The other day he said, hey, come after me. I got tough skin. Right. So he's kind of saying, put it on me, not the players. And then last night he said, you know, we don't look at the past and we're not looking at the future because you can't control it. I'm going to find it interesting because I would have thought maybe John gets a little defensive, things like that. How he handles the next month, which could be very awkward or very tough.
Well, it can be very awkward and it can be very tough. And sometimes guys will become really short with the media, maybe with fans. You don't know. They hear things, you know, they say they don't pay attention, but they do. But John has two things going for him. And I've talked to people that know John very well about this. He has his family and he has his faith. Yeah. And do not underestimate those things, at least in the role they play in his life. He knows that he doesn't want to lose this job. He's a prideful guy. But he knows that no matter what happens, he's still going to have his family. He's still going to have his faith. And someone could also say, yeah, and he'll probably get another basketball job that pays him more than any of us will ever make. And that's probably true too. And he's got a buyout. So there's a lot of things going there. I think that he will not see the value in getting nasty or surly. Okay. I don't see him doing that. Maybe I'll be surprised. I'd be disappointed if it happened. But I thought the other day in particular, he was really upbeat and laughing and joking with people. And you know, you're there, Jeremy. Mm-hmm. His attitude has stayed good. I think when he hears things coming from the crush or the fans behind pointed toward a player, I think that bothers him. And that's when he feels compelled to step up and say, hey, not them. You know, you want to come after somebody, come after me. Don't do it to them. And I understand that. He is that way with his players. So I don't expect he'll get weird. I hope not.
Yeah, I agree. Well said, Mark. Honestly, Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. Well, that said, we do need to kind of look forward, Mark, to maybe a list. We each went through one the other day. Jeremy and I had our kind of a list. Well, I guess what quality do you want to see in the next coach, and who would it be? I mean, who's on that list, that short list of Tups?
Well, you know, obviously right now, Quanzo Martin comes up on the list because of the Mark Smith stuff.
Sure.
You know, they've offered him from Cal. He's an East St. Louis guy. Illinois is gaining recruiting traction in East St. Louis. There's a lot of reasons to like him. He's a Big Ten guy, played at Purdue, coached for Katie, and all that stuff. I don't know how good of a coach he is. I think he's been an effective recruiter. If you told me that he could be a good match, I would believe that. But Missouri's going to come after him also. Other schools are going to. But he has to be on a list. No doubt about it. I wrote about Fred Hoiberg over the weekend. I love everything about Fred Hoiberg except for it's just too hard to get him. the timing. You know, I had to
Yes.
shoot that bullet early just to get it out of my gun. But you know, their season goes till April the 12th. The story today says both Gar and Pax will be back. Gar loves him, and as dysfunctional as that thing is, and it's weird. You know, maybe he sticks around and tries to salvage something in it. I wish he could get it. I wish he could get his divorce from the Bulls. The reason I like him so much is I think he's so similar to Lovey in many ways, and I think Josh sees the value in a guy that has both college and pro background. I think he sees the value in it from a recruiting standpoint. Hell, that guy recruited to Iowa State. That's like Siberia. That's not an easy place to recruit to.
Not at all.
And I liked watching their teams. I think he ran a fan-friendly offense people would really enjoy. I think there's no question a guy learned. Lon Kruger told me one time he learned so much in his couple years with the Atlanta Hawks. You know, people can look at his stay with Atlanta and say, well, that was an abject failure. But not in Lon's mind. He learned a lot and took it on to the next step. Not all these college guys are going to be matches for that. And when you got superstar people, they may not respect you enough to listen to what you want to do. You know, Hoiberg tried to call a timeout last week, and Jimmy Butler looked at him and said, no. I don't know how you can coach in that environment.
I don't either.
But I don't think it's probably doable. I would be leaning hard on Jerry Colangelo for help. Colangelo likes what's his name, Monty Williams from.
Yes.
He's with San Antonio now, but used to be with the Pelicans, and I don't know enough about him at all to tell you what any kind of a coach he was. I know he didn't have very good records, but I know he didn't have very good teams, and so I know Tony Bennett's name's going to come up. I think some of the other people connected to John's coaching tree. You know, I know Sean Miller's name was out there. He wasn't happy. Sean Miller is so expensive, though. My gosh, that's the other thing I liked about Hoiberg. There's no buyout.
Right.
You know, there's no. You know, you don't owe another university any money, or you don't have to help a guy out of his deal. And Josh has got a lot of places to look and a lot of thinking to do, and he'll lean on other people. That's what he did with Lovey. He leaned on Ron Turner, who he knew was connected in a lot of good ways, and as it turned out, he didn't have to lean on many more because that connection with Lovey was made rapidly. But there's going to be a bunch of names. Take your pick. I think it has to be a bigger name than somebody like Kevin Keats in North Carolina Wilmington. I think it has to have a little wallop to it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
To make you stand up in your seat and go, whoa. You know, Lovey was that hire. Lovey, a lot of people, whether you liked it or not, and there was people that didn't like the hire, but you did stand up and go, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Sure.
That'll get the attention of high school kids, and so I don't know. Maybe John will run the table, and we'll all look stupid forever.
Hey, that'd be a great story to cover.
It'd be great for him.
It'd be a great story to cover. It would be an unbelievable story to cover. In fact,
unbelievable is correct.
If he did that and got in the tournament, and let's say got him to the Sweet 16, there would still be a lot of people honked off that he was coming back.
No doubt.
I know, right?
We know one in particular.
Yeah, I know. Chops, the one thing I think is interesting is I don't think we're going to have a prolonged thing here. Again, I think Josh Whitman's shown that if he's going to make a move, he's already going to have his guy. And he's obviously operated pretty well behind the scenes without anything leaking. Sure. Now, it might take a week for that guy to become available if he's still coaching in the NCAA tournament or something like that, but I don't think we're going to have the Mike Thomas month-long coaching searches.
Speaking of Mike Thomas.
Yeah, right.
Mike got a job today
Good
at
for him.
Cleveland State. Wasn't it Cleveland State?
Yes.
About which, who said it? The NCAA is so mad at Jerry Tarkanian, they're going to give Cleveland State 2 more years of probation. But Mike's going to be the AD at Cleveland State, and good luck to him. Mike, I have a different feeling about Mike than a lot of people. He was incredibly nice to me, and I liked him personally. I will start out by saying that he made the single worst football coaching hire in the history of the sport.
Sure.
And so that was, gosh, you never think about a guy signing his death certificate so quickly, but he did. And obviously the basketball thing hasn't gone as smoothly as people hoped, but I liked him personally, and he did some good things at other schools. So I don't have I don't like to grind axes with these people. I wish them well, but we'll see here. If Josh knows how to, I think, play these back channel things, and let's pretend it was Kwanzaa. Get that lined up, get the people talked to, stop him on any thoughts about Missouri, let him know that he's about to become the king of East St. Louis recruiting again, and that he's got a great recruiting class sitting in his lap, and then somehow get some assurances to Jeremiah Tillman and to Trent Frazier and the rest of the guys, and see what happens. But I agree, we're not going to wait around like that. I think Josh will have some pretty good idea what he's going to do before the rest of us know, and he'll have it set up.
I'm good with it.
Mark Tupper, Decatur Herald and Review. Always appreciate your time, Mark.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Mark Tupper. Got a few thoughts on this, some things I've heard about where this thing could go, and some of the candidates people are throwing out there.
Interesting. I was telling you didn't get a chance to listen. We roasted. We were thinking of ideas to roast Mike Thomas yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had any indication. I had not seen anything out there that he was going to take this job with Cleveland State. And it just so happened that last night we hear the news that he's taking the job with Cleveland State.
Hey, you can hire his basketball coach again, maybe.
That's true. That's Beckman's open.
I don't think they have a football program.
They don't. Okay, that's good.
Probably for the better for Cleveland State.
That saves not only Cleveland State, but Mike Thomas from doing it again.
I mean, he just hired the absolute. I know the gross thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he just hired the wrong guy for football.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think Tubbs agrees with you. Without a doubt.
I don't think anybody could disagree with that. That was a hot take by
him. He did hire a softball coach that led her program to the NCAA tournament last year, and that's Tyra Perry. She's going to join us about 4:45 today. I'm anxious to talk to her and see what she's looking forward to if they can repeat that kind of performance again next year. When we come back, your thoughts on coaching changes and what you're hearing. I'm anxious to hear this as well. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
Stay toasty this winter with Matex Heating and Cooling's hot winter deals. Choose a rebate of up to $1,000 or 0% interest payments for 3 years on your new qualifying Trane heating and cooling system. Call Matex Heating and Cooling today at 355-9700 or visit online at mattexservice.com. It's hard to stop a train.
See your independent Trane dealer for details. Call 888-653-0051 for financing program details. About credit costs and terms. Regular APR at 28.99%. For newly opened accounts, APR may vary. Subject to credit approval. Offer expires March 15, 2017.
Hey home buyers, this is Stephanie Pratt, Coldwell Banker Honeywell, your realtor that rocks the real estate market. I've got the ultimate real estate app, the one you need, the one you have to have when you're buying a home in this area. Go to my website, StephaniePrattHomes.com on your mobile device and download the Home Buyers app. This totally sets you up. It even allows me to communicate with you super easy on your listings. Go to StephaniePrattHomes.com and download that app today. And don't forget, pre-approval is your buying power. It's a one-stop shop when you choose Stephanie Pratt & Associates, Coldwell Banker Honeywell, your realtor that rocks the real estate market.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
We all have people we admire, Mike, right? And sometimes we will defend those people to a fault. And as of yesterday, I can't do it anymore with Phil Jackson. There are two separate things going on at the same time. One of them is that his performance as the de facto general manager, he's the president, but he's in charge of acquiring the players, has not gone well. Right. And that is 100%, I mean, it's a statement of fact. That's not an opinion. The things he is doing, and this latest one being, in my opinion, the worst, are impossible to comprehend. And all I can say is he just trying to get Dolan to fire him, in which case he gets to leave with all of his money? Just can't believe that Phil Jackson, whose career has been so successful, would want to end it that way. I agree.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As an entrepreneur, you're always on the go. So turn your mobile phone into a business phone system with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Make and receive business calls using our iPhone and Android apps. Get a new business number or keep your current one. Forward your calls to any phone and even get your voicemails transcribed. Join over 250,000 small businesses who stay connected with Grasshopper. See how it works at grasshopper.com, the entrepreneur's phone system.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. What will you do during the next market correction? At Provident, we believe a sound financial plan is the surest way to avoid panic during market volatility. Contact us today to put a plan in place for you. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
I was singing the spot, baby.
Voice of an angel. I'm Jeremy Warner. This is your 3:30 Sports Update, or 4:30. It's 4:30, not 3:30.
It is. No, it is.
Brought to you by the Metler Center. If you're going to take your fitness to the next level, set up a free 30-minute consultation by visiting MetlerCenter.com. With a 68-61 road win last night, the Illini won their first game on the road in a year. Yes! They snapped a 9-game road losing streak. They also accomplished something they haven't in 2 years. A Big Ten road victory in regulation.
Okay.
Yeah, because the last two last year were overtime.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Minnesota overtime.
Oh, that's right.
Triple overtime in Rutgers.
Oh, boy.
John Gross, though, happiest about his defense, which limited Northwestern to 33% shooting.
Obviously our defense right now is probably what stands out to me, both halves. And then even last week, we've played – three really good teams here over the last 3 games, including today's game, and our field goal defense is under 40% and cumulatively in the 3 games, and that's gives you a chance. What we were missing a little bit last week was some shot making, and fortunately today we were able to get that from a lot of different guys.
Tonight in the Big Ten, Rutgers at Ohio State, Iowa at Minnesota. In the Valley, Illinois State routed Drake last night. Tonight, Southern Illinois at Northern Iowa, and Bradley hosts Indiana State. The Chicago Bulls are at the Warriors today, but Jimmy Butler will miss his 3rd straight game with a heel contusion. To make matters worse, Dwayne Wade is sick and may not play today.
Really?
So the Bulls will probably start with
They're not going to be good.
The backups aren't even as good as Golden State's backups.
The backups that Dwayne Wade's mad at.
Yeah.
They're going to get the start. Interesting. Heel contusion. Sounds like a Metler Center injury report to me. The heck's a heel contusion? Hey, it's the JT Walker's High School Sports Showcase. You hear it here on ESPN 93.5. This week we've got Urbana taking on Centennial. As always, it's brought to you by Carl Sports Medicine. Be ready when that whistle blows.
And Alana's.
Illini Mattress. Family owned, that's important, and operated online, IlliniMattress.com. Call Jesse DeHaan at Country Financial, 352-3466. Roof Doctors, roofdoctorsco.com. They can get you a new roof. And Hanson's Auto Repair, locally owned and operated, corner of Washington and Philo in Urbana. Also want to thank Holdren and Associates. Their philosophy is simple. It's all about you. Visit online, HoldrenAssociates.com. Martin Hood Freese and Associates for all your accounting, tax, and consulting needs. Visit online at MHFA.net. Also, Meyer Capel, a diversified law firm serving Champaign-Urbana and the surrounding communities. Online at MeyerCapel.com. They've got Cub fans that work there.
Mm-hmm.
And also Kirby and Turner Masonry. Appreciate them. Urbana Centennial, Friday night, 7:30. You'll hear it here. ESPN 93.5.
So we're going to talk with Tyra Perry, Illini's softball coach, made the NCAA tournament in her first year here at Illinois, and they're going to head south to start their season this weekend. We'll talk to her in a couple minutes. But there was some news today in the recruiting scene. Of course, Mark Smith is one of the top uncommitted prospects left out there in the country.
Okay.
I saw Rivals rated him at 78 in the country, their first rating of him, a 4-star prospect. Scott will have him probably as a top 100 kid as well, probably towards that, 80, 75 to 100. But a very good prospect, and there's not many guys out there like that.
Yes.
That's why teams even like Duke and Kansas have at least expressed a little bit of interest in him. But right now, Indiana, Illinois, Northwestern are kind of sticking out. Butler offered this week.
Okay.
And then California offered today.
Now, why would California offer, Jeremy?
Well, Quanzo Martin sent Tracy Webster.
Okay.
We all know that
I know
name,
Tracy,
right?
yeah.
Former assistant for Bruce Weber for 3 years before Jarrence took his spot.
Yep.
Where did Tracy go after that?
I was trying to think. Wasn't it in the Big Ten?
Was it Kentucky?
I'll effort that while you're talking.
Yeah. Anyway, but Mark Smith got offered by California today. Somebody asked me today, where do you think Mark Smith will be playing? I said, in the Big Ten.
Yes. So, that's probably a good call. Not California.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be California, and I think California knows it's probably not going to be California. Right. So why would they offer him? It makes you think, right? It makes you think why California would offer him. I think Quanzo wants this job.
I do too.
I think Quanzo would like the Missouri job.
I do too.
One, he's kind of moved around a little bit. He kind of got out of Tennessee because they didn't love him despite him improving the program. So he got to Cal. Well, Cal's actually, as an athletic department, really struggling financially.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Plus, I don't think he wanted to really go there. It was just kind of an escape hatch for him.
Exactly.
I think he's always wanted to come back to the Midwest and the Big Ten.
Okay.
And he's from East St. Louis, so Missouri would make a lot of sense.
He just makes so much sense for the
He
next
does,
guy.
but he's setting himself up, I think, a little bit. You know, why wouldn't you get in on Mark Smith and try to get some kind of relationship there if you want that Illinois job or if you want the Missouri job?
Yep.
Missouri is offered too. I don't think they have much of a chance, but I think it's probably smart of them to set it up, and it's kind of a sell to Josh Whitman. Hey, we come in here. Maybe we can keep Jamal Walker and keep Jeremiah Tillman. We can get Mark Smith.
Exactly.
Mark has loved Illinois. I mean, that's one of the things that sticks out, but the whole John Gross thing and his instability with the job is affecting this recruitment. So if you're able to get him in there and all of a sudden you can bring Smith, Tillman, and Charlie Moore.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, all of a sudden, you're in business in a couple years.
I think.
I think it's a fair question with Quanzo Martin as a coach.
Yeah,
but his teams have improved every year. Missouri State improved all 3 years. Tennessee improved all 3 years. Cal improved all 3 years. Now, it could be a bad thing for him that he can't sell the long-term vision of his program because we haven't seen it yet. It also could be a good thing.
Right.
Because Tennessee.
Maybe he's got a little Kruger in him.
Tennessee got hurt a little bit after he left. Maybe part of that's him leaving. Cal is expected to take a step back a little bit after this year.
Okay.
Though they're probably going to finish top half of the Pac-12. Could finish top 4 in the Pac-12. So he's a very intriguing candidate, and it's not often that Illinois steals other Power 5 coaches.
That's so true.
Lon Kruger, right?
That's right.
Anybody else?
No. No.
So
I look back,
it seems like everyone's like, oh, it's a B-list candidate. I'm like, why?
I agree with you.
I mean, I get their questions. There are going to be questions about every coach. There are questions about Bill Self.
Every coach.
There are questions about Lon Kruger, who's at a Final Four in Florida.
Yep. Listen, if Quanzo or Conzo, however you say it, Quanzo Martin, if he did send Tracy Webster here because of the idea of thinking, all right, listen, I may be a coach at Illinois or Missouri, and that would be a kid I'd want. If he sent Tracy Webster there to show, that's a heck of an initiative. If he's trying to show Josh Whitman, hey, look, I'm thinking outside the box. I'm all the way in Cal.
I think Quanzo will leave Cal this year.
I do too. And to me, he's thinking, all right, I'm out here. I'm going to show Illinois, Missouri, some of these other schools around there that, look, I'm serious about recruiting in the Midwest, and look what I'm doing.
And
I'm showing you this.
Recruited Charlie Moore out of Chicago.
Absolutely.
Recruited a couple 5-star kids out there. Now, the rest of his classes haven't been phenomenal.
Okay.
But he's gotten some good players who led him to the NCAA tournament.
Is the analogy there with him like a Ron Zook, who could bring in big recruits, but not every class was like solid? You know what I'm saying? Or is that even worth going to an analogy? It's really not worth.
I don't know if I got an analogy off the top of my head.
That's true.
For Quanzo, because we just don't have a long-term view of what he is.
I just think, to me, he's the no-brainer hire. In other words,
to me, he's
the simple one.
To me, he's a lot like, I thought Dino Babers made so much sense fit-wise.
That's perfect.
Right? I just thought Dino made so much sense. His personality after Beckman would have played so well.
Yes.
His offense gave you identity.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the African-American head coach,
I agree with you,
was like, not why you want him.
No.
But I was like, that makes sense for Illinois too.
Without a doubt.
I think in a lot of ways, Quanzo Martin checks a lot of the things you're looking for. And I think he'd be a very solid to very good hire.
I would be happy with him as the next head coach at Illinois, but I do think he's kind of the easy guy.
Yeah, and I always think the easy guy usually is not the right answer.
Right, exactly.
For whatever reason.
That's where I was going. Because
and Josh Whitman has at least shown he thinks outside the box, he thinks bigger.
And that's and maybe what's he had one hire, right, with Lovey. So there's not exactly a track record there with Whitman to be able to say, yep, this is every hire is going to be this outside the box thing. If he does go with Quanzo Martin, I don't think that's an outside the box. I think that made perfect sense.
Yes.
But yet you sit there and you think, because of Lovey, you sit there as an Illini fan thinking, who's he talking to?
And that's why the volleyball search kind of interests me.
Right.
Where's he going to go there?
Wonder when that's going to happen.
I would imagine pretty soon.
Pretty quick, I would assume. That's a great point.
They got spring volleyball coming up. So
it's good stuff.
I think it's going to be interesting to see where he goes there as well. People have mentioned Tony Bennett, and although you need a lot of money to get Tony,
yes,
and he's just rolling in the ACC right now.
Right.
I mean, they've been better than Duke.
That's crazy.
They've been a top 6 team the last 4 years, guys. Mm-hmm. So everyone's saying, he needs to get out of the ACC because it's too hard there.
Yep.
Well, Roy Williams won last year, but who won the ACC the 2 years previous?
That's exactly
it's
right.
Tony Bennett in Virginia.
And I know a lot of you had Virginia all the way to the Final Four a couple of years ago. I know you did. I know you had that on your bracket.
So I get it. I think he's in line for a raise, and I think Virginia needs to give him that.
Yes.
But he also probably had an opportunity at the Wisconsin job and didn't run at that. I know Greg Gard eventually got it, but I know Alvarez wanted Tony Bennett.
Yes.
And I think if he still could have gotten Tony Bennett, he might have went and got him.
Who's the outside the box guy for you? Is it Monty Williams?
I think Monty Williams would be that. And I was trying to get some information on him because people are talking about him a lot. Jerry Colangelo obviously runs USA Basketball.
Right.
And he thinks highly of Monty Williams. And if you haven't heard, Monty Williams, NBA coach, coached the Pelicans with bad teams.
Yes.
Led them 2 playoffs in 5 years there. 43% win percentage. And Monty is respected throughout the industry.
Awesome.
If you don't know, African-American head coach, coached under Coach K for Team USA. His wife tragically passed away in a car accident a couple years ago when he was the associate head coach under Scott Brooks at Oklahoma City. And he's got, I think, 5 kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought he was going to stay out of the business, at least the coaching part of the business, for a couple of years while his kids, got accustomed.
Kind of got accustomed to everything.
But sometimes you want that normalcy.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And I would imagine I heard he's interested in getting back into this.
Okay.
So he's a guy that you could have right away.
Boom.
Now, Monty, I think, can coach. I don't think there's any doubt of that. But unlike Lovey, I don't think he's got the cachet in recruiting.
No, I agree.
And he's never experienced recruiting besides being a player.
That's fair. And he played at Notre Dame.
So he'd have to get a good staff. I think he could get that.
I do too.
I think he'd get that at Illinois. I'd be intrigued by that hire, but I'd have more questions about that one than Quanzo.
It'd be interesting if he got a former NBA guy
as
an assistant.
Yeah, but I would think a former college head coach or something like that as an assistant. I mean, it'd be very important for him to get recruiters.
Yes.
On that staff.
I mean, he may end up being great at it, but
I talked to a player yesterday who I was talking. Would you have been sold? Like, would Monty Williams as a recruit be like, oh man?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Okay, that's fair.
He said, now the NBA ties might help him, but when it's Lovie Smith, it's a lot different.
It's not even close.
Than Monty Williams.
I mean, when Monty Williams was first said to me, I'm like, who is that? And then I remembered him more as a player at Notre Dame than I did coach of the Pelicans.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I looked at it, and you'd wonder if recruits would think the same.
As for Fred Hoiberg, the timing makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Because the bowl season ends mid-April.
Yep.
That's the regular season. They'll probably make the playoffs. Right. And even if they don't, that's a month too long.
So mid to late April, they're out.
Which Mark Smith's already made a decision, most likely. Jeremiah Tillman's got to make a decision by then. Right. I mean, that is really important here.
It is huge.
If you need to figure out your class of 2017, well, Fred Hoiberg, I don't see him quitting.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I don't see him pulling the Bobby Petrino thing here.
No.
That's not a good look for him. Plus, when
you think he's going to be there a little bit?
I think he's going to be there. Gar Forman's back. That's his guy. I mean, he locked himself into Fred Hoiberg, and the Bulls still owe him $15 million after this year. And I don't know what the Illinois would be on the hook for there, but also, is Fred Hoiberg the best fit here? I know he did great at Iowa State,
right?
But he's kind of made it known he doesn't love recruiting.
He did great with a lot of. Remember those transfers?
Yes,
he was the king. Iowa State,
and everyone
was the
loves
king of
transfers here.
Oh yeah, I mean he was bringing in every transfer he
from
could
Penn
at
State.
Iowa State. Yep.
Was it Deshaun Jones? Was that?
I think that's right. I mean, so he was all about, and I'm not saying he can't coach and that he couldn't recruit, because I think he recruited the stud there at Iowa State the last few years.
Monty Morris.
Was it Monty Morris? A different guy that had kind of it was a bigger guy.
Yeah, I know.
Zhang, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Nang, whatever. But, I'm sure he can recruit. I don't doubt that at all. But it's funny, like I've thought about this. If Fred Hoiberg was a coach at another school, would that be as much of an interest, or is it because he's the Bulls coach?
Well, I think it was what he did at Iowa State. I think what he's done with the Bulls, even though he's an NBA guy, right? Like, he coached in the NBA. That's impressive.
It is.
But he failed. He's failed in Chicago.
Yes, he has.
Is that a sell to kids in a city you're trying to recruit?
Ooh.
Or did they just see him on the TV and think that's great?
Hey, that's Fred Hoiberg, former Bulls coach.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's what I wonder, because if he doesn't love recruiting, well, Chicago's not the place for you.
No.
Iowa State's a little, in the middle of nowhere. You're the mayor of Ames.
That's why Quanzo Martin.
People always say Fred Hoiberg, and I get it. Yep. It's a big name. Is it the fit? Right. Is it the right fit?
359-2255. If you've got an idea, you can always send it in. Again, 217-359-2255. Excited about next hour. We'll visit with Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports. You know he's going to be hyper. We'll ask him, does Illinois still have a shot at the NCAA tournament? I want to see how much he laughs.
Maybe.
Next, though, and I'm excited about this, Illinois softball coach Tyra Perry is going to join us. It is the Tay and J Show.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Sprint by Wireless Revolution. Do you live in Urbana? Visit the Sprint store on the corner of Philo and Florida for your new device, and we'll transfer all of your photos, contacts, and other important data from your old phone. Also, come see Sprint by Wireless Revolution in North Champaign at Center Court and Marketplace Mall. Let them set up your new phone or tablet while you get your shopping done. Or if you're on North Prospect, visit the only Sprint mobile device service center in town, located next to Starbucks. They can help you find a new phone or fix your old one. Sprint by Wireless Revolution. Local, convenient, and serving our community since 2011.
Experience the credit union difference. It's people helping people. Our goal is to serve all of our members well, including those of modest means. Our members are fiercely loyal for this reason. They know their credit union will be there for them in bad times as well as good. Experience the credit union difference with the U of I Community Credit Union. Visit one of our branches today or visit us at uoficreditunion.org.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
From keeping your money safe and secure to helping achieve your financial dreams, the U of I Community Credit Union brings a fighting spirit to the financial wellness of this entire community. Experience the credit union difference. People helping people. And we're helping even more in 2017 with our brand new Member Advice Center. Get free online articles and blogs on a variety of topics related to your financial well-being. Go to uoficreditunion.org.
It seems like in every home, there's at least one room that's either too hot or too cold. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Mitsubishi Electric has your comfort solution. Mitsubishi Electric cooling and heating systems are up to 40% more efficient with no ductwork and whisper quiet. Individual room control, giving you the freedom to find your perfect comfort level and save money too. Make your whole home comfortable again. See Lance Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for your comfort solution and live better.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Lands is your local Mitsubishi Electric Diamond dealer. Our technicians are experts at solving your comfort needs, one room or your whole house. Let us show you how a Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Cooling System can save you money now. Your comfort is our priority. Call Lands today at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or find us online at landsinc.com. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
ESPN 93.5 invites you on our annual bus trip to see the St. Louis Cardinals take on the world champion Chicago Cubs Wednesday, April 5th. And it's all brought to you by Rosati's Pizza in Urbana. Buy your bus and right field game day tickets for just $99. Or register to win a set of free tickets at Rosati's Pizza, 701 Gregory in Urbana. It's our annual bus trip to Busch Stadium in St. Louis to see the Cubs take on the Cardinals Wednesday, April 5th. Get information on the trip by calling 367-1195 or at espncu.com. CoachMikeDitka.com today.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Rectangles. Squares.
Circles.
Oh, it's circles! I'm telling you, we'd be good on that game show where you can't say the word, but you have to. So I'd be like rectangle.
Password.
Square. You'd be like circle. Ding! I think we'd be good at it.
I would have said shapes.
After
I didn't know the song.
Yeah, that's true. You don't get the song behind you.
Hey, next hour we'll talk bracketology with Brad Evans. Not really just Illinois, because that's still a far-fetched thing, but the Big Ten. I can't wait to see how he separates this Big Ten.
Good luck, because we tried.
Yeah, we did buy or sell in the 3:30 hour. The Indiana and Michigan, those are the two hardest ones for me.
Without a doubt. All right, it's time to head to the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line, and it's time to welcome in Illinois softball coach Tyra Perry. How are you, Coach?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are great.
You are getting out of here just in time,
doubt.
Coach. Heading down to Puerto Rico.
That's great planning, right?
Yeah, Puerto Rico. Not a bad start. Not a bad place to start there.
Oh, we're excited. We're very excited about the trip.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the start of your season. Obviously coming off an NCAA tournament appearance in your first year, which congratulations on that. That's a great start to your program. But what do you guys have? What's kind of the task ahead this weekend?
Well, we have 8 newcomers, and that's a large number of new energy coming into the program. So I believe a lot is going to sit in their hands as far as, how they integrate into our system and nerves and how they handle those things and, and how our returners gel with our newcomers.
That's interesting. I liked how you said that, new energy. I guess as a coach that there is some excitement to that. It's people people you've recruited. They're coming in, but it is also trying to gel with veterans. That's where you need experience, right? You need those veterans that are going to be able to kind of take control of that clubhouse and make sure they're showing these guys how to do the right thing.
Exactly. I know one of the hardest things for me, and I would say that my staff would agree, is that those unknowns. You just don't know, what your new kids are going to do and how they're going to perform. But hopefully that's not the case with the returners. We've been around them for a little while. We know their nuances. And basically, if they're able to bring, their everyday game to the table, then everything should go well.
Coach, what are the strengths of your team this year?
I think, last year we were pretty balanced, and I believe we have that same opportunity to, play solid defense, hit well, and have solid pitching again. I believe that will be a great MO for us, mode of operation. So I think balance is going to be key.
The third base coach, obviously, is a strength, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, how about pitching? I know that you've got some young pitchers coming in, but I believe Brianna Wonderly will she be your ace, or how will that go this year?
Oh yes. Wonderly is hands down our ace. She really came through for us last season. She's one of those kids that leads by example. She's always working hard. First one to show up, last one to leave. So we're going to rely a lot on her experience this year.
What did you learn? We're visiting with Illinois softball coach Tyra Perry. What did you learn through your first kind of run here at Illinois and also in that first run of the Big Ten? What were you able to learn last year that you're anxious to kind of get ready to roll again this year?
Well, I am always learning, especially the Big Ten has a great way of teaching you things as well because it's so competitive. And you have, softball greats such as Michigan and, the up-and-coming Minnesota. You have Nebraska. Some of the traditional greats in softball are in our conference. So I'm always learning. The coaches, Coach Hutch and Rhonda Revelle, are most revered. And so I always kind of try to take a few things away from their style. But, just the pace of game. It's a faster game. So, we're trying to make sure that we're setting the pace and not only doing that, but keeping it instead of trying to keep up with the pace. So, those momentum swings, grabbing as many of those moments as possible for our team is going to be our focus for the weekend and throughout the season.
You play 3 warm weather schools down in Puerto Rico, North Carolina, and Georgia Tech, and then California. You play the Tar Heels and Yellow Jackets twice, and then California once. What do you know about those teams, or is it just kind of go there and figure it out?
Well, we've done quite a bit of scouting. We've actually been looking into all 3 of those teams for several weeks now. I mean, that's the beauty of the opener.
Yeah.
You can kind of focus there. But, Georgia Tech and UNC have quite a few newcomers as well. So they will probably be experiencing or handling some of the same challenges that we are. And Cal is pretty much reloaded. So they're a quick team. They have a lot of speed, and we're going to have to slow them down.
So I see the games Friday and Saturday are 8 and 10:30 a.m.
Oh, my.
Do you guys get to enjoy any bit of Puerto Rico,
No
get
doubt.
to see anything while you're down there?
Oh, absolutely. Those times are Central Time, so it's actually a little bit later there in Puerto Rico. But we play back-to-back, and then we'll have most of the afternoon and evening to kind of do some, exploring and enjoy the experience of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, is there ever a time you just say, kids, good luck today, I'm going ziplining?
Well, I'd like to do that, but I also like my job a lot. So.
Yeah, Josh might not like that at all. That's
no,
great.
Yeah, you want to keep the big guy happy, so, no, I don't think we're going to do that.
How has that been, working with Josh Whitman? I mean, it seems like when we talk to every coach, they just think the world of that guy and what he's able to do and what he's doing right now with that with this Illinois program, obviously, as a whole. What has your time with Josh been like?
Well, honestly, if you guys told me that there was someone that said that they did not like Josh, I would ask you immediately what is wrong with that person.
Right.
He's been great. I've been to quite a few schools and, finally had the good fortune of coming here to Illinois, but had a few bosses, and Josh is definitely one of the highest on the list. He's just very personable. He really cares about all sports, and he shows that in action, just by having a FaceTime with our athletes. He comes to our games.
Cool.
His wife Hope is there as well. His daughter Tate is there as well. So, I think you can't beat that, having an athletic director that's as hands-on as Josh is.
What was that like when he came in, though? Given that you were hired by Mike,
right.
And then so quickly everything changes, what was that like for you to go through that?
He and I have actually had that conversation, and he mentioned to me that he was in a similar situation where he was hired by someone else, and then someone else came in. And, it's just really about doing your job and, making sure that you're working hard, in your sport and, doing the right things for your student athletes. And, basically he assured me I'm doing those things and all is well.
Tyra Perry, Illini softball coach. I noticed you had Aaron Walker from Tuscola and, of course, Taylor Edwards from Arcola. Do you have to keep them on separate ends of the bench? I mean, that's those Cola people. They don't like each other.
I've heard that a few times, but those two are the nicest kids in the world. I except when they're on the mound, they get those game faces going. Of course, very competitive, but two of the sweetest young ladies, that I've ever had the privilege of coaching. I love both of those young ladies, and they're going to do quite a bit for us in the circle this year.
That's awesome. Tyra Perry, congrats on the NCAA last year. Look forward to this season. Look forward to getting out to a few games. Good luck down in Puerto Rico.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Okay,
Thanks,
we appreciate it. Tyra Perry. I had a chance, the first time I ever met her was at B-Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there, we were watching a Illini game, and she walked up to get some food. She'd ordered food, and I looked over, I'm like, that's got to be Coach Perry. So I just walked over, introduced myself, and we had about a 15-minute conversation about softball. She's very pleasant. I mean, awesome. And that's great that she was able to lead that team last year to the tournament. That's a good way to get your coaching career started at Illinois.
Pretty impressive. Coming up next hour, we'll talk a little bracketology with Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports.
Fantasy football?
What's Illinois got to do? But more importantly, we're going to figure out this Big Ten.
Yes, because it's interesting.
Brad's going to tell us who makes the tournament, how many make the tournament.
Okay. Because whatever he says goes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll do it next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Join the Bloomington Edge indoor football team at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum for their first game of the year, Sunday, February 26th. Don't miss all the exciting football action as the Edge take on the Tri-Town Titans. The Bloomington Edge indoor football team invites you to come out early on February 26th for the Edge Fan Fest starting at 3 p.m. in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of Bloomington. Meet the players, win free prizes, then get ready for exciting indoor football. Get season tickets or buy single game tickets at bloomingtonedge.net or call 484-840-EDGE.
The one constant in life is change. Throughout our lives, we go down roads that we'd never imagined, and we need to be prepared for whatever comes our way. Want to own your future? Contact Country Financial Representative Jesse DeHaan. Jesse can help put a solid plan in place with insurance solutions to help make sure you're protected for whatever lies ahead. Get started today. Contact Jesse DeHaan in Champaign at 352-3466 for Country Financial.
It's here again, guys. Valentine's Day is next week, and you know what that means. Time to start thinking about the perfect gift. Or you can simply trust the experts at Sherry's Berries like I do. Picture your sweetheart when you surprise her at home or her office with decadent dipped strawberries made just for her. I scored major points last year by sending these amazing, unforgettable treats to my wife. She loved them. Hey, you have a unique Valentine. She deserves a one-of-a-kind gift, right? Well, this is it. These berries are ripe, juicy, and delicious. They come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, topped with irresistible toppings like chocolate chips and chopped nuts. And check this out. Right now, you can get Sherry's Berries for $19.99 plus shipping. That's juicy, gourmet, freshly dipped berries starting at $19.99. Go ahead and double your order for $9.99 more. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is almost here, and this offer expires soon. To get this amazing deal, go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner, and use code 4747. That's berries.com, code 4747. Berries.com, code 4747.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fox News Radio, I'm Kathleen Maloney. Confirmation continues to be a slow process for President Trump's cabinet. Fox's Jared Halpern has the latest live.
The Senate has been in nonstop session as Republican leaders work to confirm President Trump's cabinet as quickly as possible.
We are taking a maximum amount of time in a cabinet and presidential nominations that usually happen quickly.
Missouri Republican Roy Blunt complains that Democrats are delaying key votes. Democrats have kept the Senate in session overnight, trying to sink the confirmation of Attorney General nominee Jeff Sessions. Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren was ordered to sit last night. Republicans concluded she crossed the line in Senate rules. Kathleen.
Thanks, Jared. The Northeast is bracing for what could amount to a major snowstorm. Fox's Gernal Scott has a live report.
Kathleen, parts of Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York could see snow accumulations from 6 to 10 inches or more into Thursday. Weather Service forecasters predict snow and high winds as well as temperatures below freezing. New York City Sanitation Commissioner Catherine Garcia says conditions will be harsh, but
luckily it's not likely to last very long, only a few hours, but during the period of time that it's coming down, it will be extraordinarily difficult to drive.
Snow is forecast to fall up to 4 inches an hour. Sleet and ice also expected to cause problems on Thursday, Kathleen.
Thanks, Gernal. Parts of Louisiana and Mississippi are cleaning up from tornado damage. The National Weather Service says the twister that struck eastern New Orleans was a powerful EF3. New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu estimates that 5,000 structures were damaged in varying degrees. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, Pro Flowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from Pro Flowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3535.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Decision yet from an appeals court on whether President Trump's travel ban on immigrants from 7 nations remains blocked.
I think it's sad. I think it's a sad day. I think our security is at risk today, and it will be at risk until such time as we are entitled and get what we are entitled to as citizens of this country.
The president also saying he believes the court system is too political.
To say that someone is a so-called judge on top of denigrating a judge because of his national origins, this is beneath the dignity of the presidency.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. Another federal lawsuit is aimed at blocking the president's executive order curbing government regulations. It requires federal agencies to repeal 2 existing regulations for every new one either proposed or issued. The lawsuit, filed by consumer, environmental, and labor organizations, claims the order exceeds the president's authority. Be careful where you sit.
Lazy Boy is recalling lift chairs because of a possible shock hazard. There are 2,500 recliners involved in the recall. The company says the lift chair's power supply cover can crack and end up detaching and exposing the electrical components, which could give users an electric shock. No injuries have been reported, but customers are urged to immediately stop using the power supplies and contact Lazy Boy for a free replacement power supply. The models involved are Gold Series, Clayton Luxury Lift, and Power Lift models. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
A former president is offering the current president an idea for creating jobs, and lots of them. Jimmy Carter says if President Trump would embrace renewable energy sources like wind and solar power, it could result in millions of new jobs. Carter was the first U.S. president to install solar panels at the White House. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Thank you. Let me eat my apple.
Yeah, he's professional.
Good stall.
Hey, I'm going to take a bite while you're saying the weather.
Okay. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a furnace expert? Call Chief Bauer Service Experts. It's kind of disgusting. At 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. That's a mouthful of apples.
We're both sitting here eating apples.
Winter weather advisory in effect.
Hey, we're healthy.
Expect occasional snow to end at about 7 p.m. Okay. A low of 14 tonight. Thursday, sunny clear. High 25, low of 18. Should melt on Friday. High 46. Mostly sunny, low of 39. It'll definitely be gone Saturday, 60 degrees. Okay. Right now, snow 826 in Champaign-Urbana.
It's snowing. Everybody freak out. Ooh. Have you ever done that to your car? I haven't. I don't think I've ever had a car that can do that.
It is drive time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For newer used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy or visit them online at drivechampaign.com. Wante, this will recap the first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
I told my buddies if Illinois ever wins the True Road game, I'm going to do a shot of Fireball. I haven't done the shot of Fireball yet, so I need to own up to that.
Yeah.
Because Illinois got it done last night. A big win against Northwestern. Now, what does it mean? I have no idea.
It's a win.
It's a win.
It's a Big Ten win.
It is.
Like if you did big with a 1 in the middle of it.
So it is technically a quote-unquote big 10 win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most quality win of the year.
It really is.
It's won a road game, 2 against an NCAA tournament team, most likely.
Yep.
Northwestern, maybe fretting a little bit, but they're still a great resume right now.
Well, they were wounded without Scotty Lindsey, and that showed. I mean, you put a lot of pressure then on 2 guys, Vic Law and Bryant McIntosh. And besides McIntosh doing his thing for about a 6-minute stretch there in the second half, I thought Illinois played pretty well against him and Vic Law.
So what does it mean for Illinois? What do we take away from this? They have a chance at least. They prolonged that they still have a chance, that they're still alive, and they focused, and they played a pride game, right?
Yes.
There is still pride left in the tank with this team, which is great to see. Because when your coach is on the hot seat, most likely on his way out, a lot of teams can fold on themselves.
No doubt.
These guys fought.
That's a great point.
These guys fought, and I think they're going to do it the rest of the way. And I think they've done it the last couple games. They just haven't executed well enough. But I felt like John Gross had his best game of the year.
Yep.
Finally, he shortened that rotation. and played the guys he should play. And he made the right moves with his subs, whether it was Kip or Nichols starting in the second half.
Yep.
And when that wasn't working, he put Michael Finke in, and Finke was red hot, and he rode him.
He
and he played Tijon Lucas for 33 minutes and didn't play Jalen Tate or Mike Thorne. And Mav Morgan played 36 minutes. He can do it.
I know.
He's one of your best players. He needs to do it. So, got to give credit.
You do.
We rip on him or criticize him. He's been bad most of the year, I think, with his rotations. He finally got it. Now, it took too long.
It did.
But he did it. And look, it helped his team win a game.
And I think Illinois it looked like an Illinois game in the past that you remember. It looked like the games that Illinois would go to Northwestern where you knew the Wildcats were going to give you a battle, but you were always going to ultimately come out on top. That's what it looked like. It almost fooled me into thinking, hey, my Illini are back. Like, we're having a good season. And then I remembered that they're 14-11 and 4-8 in the Big Ten. What does it mean going forward? I guess, like you said, it gives you a chance. There are games coming up that seem to be winnable. Penn State at home. Yes, I know Penn State has looked really good this year. I know they beat you there, but that is a young team, and young teams are prone to go on the road and not do well.
Ken Pom bases their projections off all the numbers, right? They have Illinois as a 5-point favorite over Penn State, a 3-point underdog to Iowa on the road, a 1-point underdog to Northwestern at home, a 1-point underdog to Nebraska at home, or on the road, a 2-point favorite at home against Michigan State, and a 1-point favorite on the road at Rutgers. Those are all toss-up games.
They really are. And wouldn't it be fun? Let me throw this by it. Wouldn't it be fun to beat Penn State and then go to Iowa with something on the line?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
even if
give me just any kind of hope.
There's a lot of people just rooting for the end of the John Gross era.
Doubt.
I get it. I get it. It hasn't been good enough, but it would be fun.
It would be fun.
For me personally, I think it'd be a fun story to cover to see this team try to give a run. And credit to John Gross in the past, his team has always made runs.
Agree.
Except for last year when they just had no roster left. So it is very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
It is very unlikely, but if John Gross continues to play the best players and ride them instead of trying to just put in all these, I got all these guys, I got to use them.
Right.
No, because there's certain guys that aren't helping you, and that hurts your team when you put them on the court.
Well, you said it, and I was about ready to say let's pump the brakes a little bit. Illinois still hasn't won back-to-back games in how many years in the Big Ten? 2 years in the Big Ten.
2015, when you beat Northwestern and Nebraska back-to-back. They were terrible teams.
And there you go. Now you got a chance with Penn State at home if you're ever going to do it.
March 4th,
Is it sad that we're trying to update that stat?
March 4th, 2015, the last time they won back-to-back.
Wow.
Big Ten games.
I wonder when when they've ever. Never mind. I don't even want to go there. I was going to say back-to-back road games in the Big Ten.
That would have been. Oh, jeez.
Lon Kruger. No, I'm kidding.
They won 2 road games in 2015.
Okay.
2014, they won 3 in a row on the road.
What?
At Minnesota, at Michigan State, at Iowa.
Look at that.
The John Ike game.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember
Close
Ike going crazy at Iowa City. I love it. Well, listen, Penn State's next. John Gross said, you had a quote from him, you had a soundbite from him, that essentially they're living in the now, right?
Intro 1 there, Lonnie. It's a pretty... I thought it was a very interesting quote from John Gross.
So you hope you can gain momentum from it, Shannon. But at the end of the day, we've talked the last day or two about staying in the moment, and not thinking about the past or, predicting the future. Or, we're going to try to stay in the moment. We talked a lot about that as a group over the last day or two, and I thought those guys really did a good job of great prep day, the day after the Minnesota game, great practice yesterday. They were good in shoot-around today, just trying to absorb the moment. That's a challenge, as I said on the presser that I had before we came here, because everybody a lot of people want to talk about the past, which you have no control over. You want to talk about the future, which you also have no control over.
Unless you're Biff.
So you've got to stay in the moment. I thought our guys did that. But at the end of the day, Shannon, I do think, hopefully we can gain some momentum from it.
That was you kind of got a glimpse of John Gross. I mean, he hasn't answered it directly, but you heard a couple of days ago after that loss that to Minnesota, he was saying, put it on me, not the players. Criticize me all you want. These players, they don't deserve that kind of criticism. And then last night, he's saying, can't look at the past because it doesn't help you. And looking too forward in the future, we don't know what that holds. That's out of my control.
Exactly.
So, he's acknowledging it.
Yep, I agree.
He's trying to get this team to win as many games as possible, give themselves a chance to do what they've wanted to do all along, and that's play in the NCAA tournament.
Speaking of winning as many games as possible, we also talked about what Big Ten team is going to make the NCAA tournament. Do we buy or sell? You and I were pretty close on most of them, but we differed on a couple.
I think the easy ones to buy right now are Northwestern. Yep. That still would have to have an epic collapse to not make the tournament. And Minnesota, which has a very good resume, and I think a schedule that's very doable to get to where they need to do. I think they're going to be a 9 to 10, 11 seed, but I think they're going to get in this thing. The easy teams for me to sell right now are Illinois, Iowa, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Yes.
The three teams I have such difficulty separating right now and seeing as no doubt NCAA tournament teams are Michigan State, Michigan, and Indiana.
Yeah, and Indiana and Michigan play coming up soon.
Yeah.
So that could be a huge game, just those two to figure out who's advancing.
Because
it's at Indiana, which would help.
I mean, Michigan's had some routs of wins.
They have.
Here recently. But they're 15-9, 5-6. Their RPI is 76.
Right.
Indiana's RPI is 75, 15-9, 5-6 in the Big Ten, and they're banged up. Michigan State's 14-10, 6-5. Their RPI and KenPom aren't that different than Illinois'.
That's crazy.
But they're Michigan State, so they'll get an edge on a lot of these teams. So we'll separate that coming up next with Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports.
Perfect. That is perfect. That is Drive Time.
Presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com.
I need to memorize that. It's really not that hard, is it?
I think it's right in front of you.
Oh, is it? I think it is, too. Well, how about that? All right, Brad Evans next. Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans, and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Chris Raby inviting you to follow the Redbirds this offseason on the Cardinals Countdown to Opening Day show presented by Amarin. Join me along with Mike Claiborne for the latest news on the 2017 Cardinals. We'll hear from Mike Matheny, John Mozeliak, Cardinals coaches and players, and Cardinals broadcasters John Rooney, Rick Horton, and the voice of the Cardinals, Mike Shannon. Catch all the Cardinals action right here on the Cardinals Countdown to Opening Day show, presented by Amarin on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Hey, this is Brad again with Kramer Siding and Window Company. And if you've thought about replacing those drafty windows and doors, call us right now. Take advantage of 30% off our windows and 30% off our doors. These are the vinyl windows that tilt in for cleaning and never need storm windows. Also, our beautiful Paragon doors come pre-painted and have deadbolt locks built right into them. So if you've thought about replacing your windows and doors, call us to take advantage of 30% off plus 0% financing.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
Is this becoming a problem? When Alabama plays its season opener next season, that'll be a span of 3 games with 3 different offensive coordinators. Lane Kiffin let go before last month's national title game. Steve Sarkisian took over, and then yesterday bolted Bama for the Falcons. Now the search is on for his replacement. Why would Sark leave? Well, 1, he takes over the reins to the NFL's most dangerous offense. 2, he's working for Dan Quinn, not Nick Saban. That's not a shot at Saban either. It's just a fact. The man is not easy to work for. He's demanding, a perfectionist, and maintains absolute control over every aspect of his football team. It's probably how I would be if I were a coach, but that doesn't make it right or easy to deal with. However, his record speaks for itself. 5 national titles, 6 national title games. It's why his coaching tree is loaded with success stories. He'll find somebody to run that offense. People seem to like championships. Just don't expect a warm, fuzzy, or long-lasting relationship. In 60 seconds, you might have missed it last night.
The U.S. economy has been getting stronger, and home values have been increasing. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Many of our clients have been taking cash out of their homes, a strategy that might work for you. The smart move is for you to refinance your mortgage right now with Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.18%, APR 4.35%. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Duralast batteries are proven tough in the most extreme conditions. They're tested to start in 140-degree heat or temperatures of 40 below. Yep, they're that tough. So if they can do that, they can definitely perform for your nephew's soccer game. Work through a scattered thunderstorm, or be dependable on Sunday afternoon trips to the grocery store. Because no matter what the weather's like, it's nice to know that you've got a proven tough Duralast battery under the hood. Duralast, proven tough, and sold only at AutoZone. Hoods up, America.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. His name is Sindarius Thornwell. He plays at South Carolina, so maybe you aren't too familiar with him. He was a McDonald's All-American in high school, though. Last night, he did something nobody in college hoops has done in the last 20 years. Score 40 points, grab 10 defensive rebounds, and 10 offensive rebounds. Sure, his team played 4 overtimes against Alabama and lost, but this is about Thornwell. He played 56 of a possible 60 minutes, scored 44 points, and grabbed 21 rebounds. 21! He's 6'5", but that's typical of him. He does everything. He's second in the SEC in scoring and in rebounding. And when you're watching the NBA draft in June, listen for his name. NBA teams love his game because in addition to points and boards, he's a superstar defensively. He leads the SEC in steals. Just thought you should know. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari.
I did not do that.
Dari just gave up.
Dari, they're like, Dari, we're heading to the bar. Let's go. I'm Dari, and I'm out. It is the Tay and J Show. Latte, Jeremy Warner. Jeremy made the trip up to the glorified high school that is Welsh Ryan.
Dude, I love that place.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked it if I would have played a super sectional there.
I know, but why do like Illini? I get it. You're making fun of Northwestern.
I know I am. I totally am.
But no, like, actually, the viewing experience there, it's intimate.
I'm sure.
Right, for a Big Ten game, you usually don't get that kind of intimate of an experience.
See, I sat on Media Row the only time I've been there, but I assume even the seats up a little bit top. They're not really that high.
You're right there.
You're right there.
You're right there. And the Illinois Northwestern games for me are always fun because you get the split fans.
You do.
And this was the first time I think Northwestern fans outnumbered.
Had more
Illinois fans, but the Illinois fans were doing ILL chants last night at the end of the game. Cool. It's always fun. It's always it's kind of like that super sectional feel because you get two fan bases.
You really do.
Both together, and they're usually competitive games here recently.
Were you able to check out, I guess, the new facilities? They're doing a lot of the new facilities and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be there next year because they're going to be in Rosemont next year when they probably have their best team ever.
Oh, man. That's how it works. All right, it's time to head to the Jupiters to the Crossing phone line. Everybody turn your radio down just a little. It's time to chat with Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports. How are you, Brad?
Hola, amigos. I'm terrific. How you doing?
I bet it's not snowing where you're at.
In Denver today, this is going to sound almost unbelievable, so hold on to something. It's 65 and sunny.
Wow, I forgot you had moved to Denver.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it could be snowing, yeah.
It was 60 degrees here yesterday, Brad, and now it is 20 degrees and snowing.
Oh, that sounds like actually a very Denver type of weather system that moved through central Illinois.
All right, Brad, so I called you up because I really want to know how the heck do you separate these teams in the Big Ten? First of all, how many Big Ten teams do you think get into the tournament this year?
I think ultimately it's going to be 7 when the dust settles. You know, Wisconsin, Purdue, Maryland, I think are absolute locks right now. Northwestern, of course, taking a step back and probably against our not-so-fighting Illini. And then, Michigan State getting blasted, just feasted by Michigan in a bloodletting type of game, one of the more embarrassing losses I can remember in the Tom Izzo era. Very much on the fence. I moved Michigan State down to an 11 seed in my recent bracket big board update. And then you've got Michigan right there on the bubble. Indiana, a team that needs to play its way in. Monster, matchup this weekend going against Purdue and an intra-state rival, the Hoosier State there. And I think they're going to end up losing that game because there's too much size. And Caleb Swanigan, I think, the biggest matchup nightmare in the country. So, again, when it's all said and done, I think Minnesota's also win. It's probably going to be a 7-bid league. Maybe one team sneaks in as an 8. But I think Michigan State, Indiana, and Northwestern really still have some work to do.
Does Purdue scare you? And what I mean by that is scare. In other words, do you think they have the ability to go further maybe in this tournament than any Big Ten team, or do you think that could be Wisconsin?
Well, I think it's Wisconsin right now. I will say this about Purdue. Are they a Final Four caliber squad? Absolutely they are. I mean, this is a team that has two enormous bigs. Isaac Haas, the guy that, at 7'2", he's got a little meat on his bones. He's not afraid to eat, and he has, pretty skills for a guy of his size. And as I mentioned before, Swanigan's impossible to stop. He should be Big Ten Player of the Year, although Ethan Happ is in that conversation. A guy that could beat you inside. He's shooting 50% from downtown on the season. He's got a great mid-range game. Gets dirty around the basket in terms of grabbing offensive and defensive rebounds. I mean, he's really got a complete game. One of the more efficient players in the country. And then you've got some nice perimeter players there to boot. Vincent Edwards at 6'8", shooting right around 44% from distance. Dakota Mathias, nearly 50% from beyond the arc. I think what it really boils down to is, can P.J. Thompson at the point guard position for Matt Pater's team play consistently? He's a young guy, obviously still in terms of his minutes played. He's a junior on paper, but a guy that, he's seen sporadic minutes in his first couple of years. That a guy that was leaned on heavily. If he's a guy that can come out and contribute, 8 points a game, don't turn the ball over, really run the offense efficiently, then that really opens things up in the post for Purdue as a whole. But, again, on paper, this is a team that has all the characteristics of a Final Four team. They've just been enigmatic at times.
Iowa is 6-5 in the Big Ten. They are 14-10 overall. Got wins over Iowa State, Michigan, Purdue. What do they need to do to sneak into this field?
Win more games.
Yeah.
Bottom line. I mean, here's the thing. This is the $64,000 question. Mark Hollis is the new selection committee chair, a guy that obviously ties to Michigan State. So you would hope that, even though when a Big Ten team is discussed, he's got to step out of the room, or specifically his team. But, the one thing I want the committee to do, and I think they're going to be more open to this, is using some of these advanced analytics that are out there, using sites like Ken Pomeroy, using the Massey ratings, which is this mishmash of about 50 to 60 different computer measurements that are out there right now. Yes, there are that many computer geeks cranking numbers in regards to college basketball. They need to get away from the RPI that's antiquated. Now, if the RPI is still going to be the crux, kind of the basis of the process, I believe that because ultimately a lot of the selection committee members, when they're vetting the field, when they're scrubbing the field, they're going to look at what is the team's record against the RPI top 25 or the RPI top 50. How many bad losses, meaning outside the RPI top 100 are there. They may not look at the specific RPI number that is assigned to that team, like Iowa right now in the 90s. But what they're going to do is they're going to look at the record versus those RPI top 50 levels to ultimately decide between Team X and Team Y. So looking at Iowa right now, they just don't have the resume to get an at-large. But, a couple of marquee wins down the stretch, finished strong in the Big Ten Conference tournament with all the other variables at play with some of the other teams in the bubble, like a team up the road there in Bloomington Normal and Illinois State being one of them, or Cal out on the West Coast. Definitely they could come into play.
Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports Bracketologist. Follow him on Twitter at Yahoo Noise. Well, Illinois showed last night they're not dead yet, Brad.
Yeah, baby.
So this is probably the last time I can ask you. What would they have to do? Is there a path outside winning the Big Ten tournament?
So basically, bring back Nick Anderson, Steve Bardo, Marcus Liberty, suit them up, somehow inject them with some, time-traveling potion where they're back in their, 19, 20-year-old bodies, and they win out.
Yes.
There you go.
So they got to win out.
Yeah, I got to win out. I mean, look at the rest of the resume. There are not a whole lot of opportunities here to boost, the resume as a whole. So you play Northwestern to get it home. You got a bubble-licious game, if you will, if you even consider Illinois in the bubble, which they're not. They're more in the bubble for the NIT against Iowa on the road. You got Michigan State. You got pitfalls here against Nebraska. Rutgers away. Rutgers playing better ball right now. Beat Penn State recently. So, you put it all together. It's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream. You guys are smoking the funny stuff. They must have maybe gotten Colorado came out here.
Brad, I did want to ask you, up the road, you mentioned Illinois State.
Yes.
That was a big loss at Wichita State.
Right.
Of course, they didn't have their best player, McIntosh, but do they need to win the the Missouri Valley tournament to get in, or can they get in as an at-large?
I think they can get in as at-large. I think ultimately the Missouri Valley is going to be a two-bid league, and it should be. It's a solid conference. It always is. It's kind of little redheaded stepchild of conferences across the landscape, but it's got a strong standing in the RPI or even a lot of the secondary metrics out there like Ken Palm. I mean, it's a good league, and I think Illinois State, this is a team that has some serious athletes to compete. They are one of the best defensive teams in the country. In fact, according to Ken Pomeroy, number 10 in defensive efficiency. It's a team that, if they get in, whether they're a play-in team or not, you don't want to see them.
No.
In the opening round of the tournament. They're going to knock somebody off. I said it 2 weeks ago, even
saw
before.
That.
Yeah, they got disemboweled by Wichita State, that this is a team that's going to win a couple of games. I'm convinced of that, but they got to handle business down the road. I mean, probably the biggest pitfall that they have left at Northern Iowa, but that Northern Iowa team is down. If they get to the Missouri Valley Conference Finals and square off again against Wichita State, regardless of outcome, the Redbirds should be dancing.
Watch out for the dogs. The Salukis are going to take the Valley tournament. Brad,
oh, God. Of course you're going to fit that in there.
Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports, at Yahoo Noise. You find him on Twitter. I want to ask you about a topic we're talking about around here, and that's the job, the head basketball coach of the University of Illinois. Obviously, John Gross has it. We all have thrown out our lists. Have you given it any thought, Brad, as to what would happen here at Illinois if John Gross is not brought back?
Have I thought about it? I'm working back channels to get my guy in place, as a matter of fact. So I think Quanzo Martin's the perfect guy for the job.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly convinced of this. A guy that's from East St. Louis. So if you're worried about Tillman's recruiting and whether or not he's going to bail if Gross leaves, I think Quanzo's the guy that could unite Illinois. Obviously, we saw with Charlie Moore and stealing him for the CPL and what he's doing at Cal. The babyface assassin, the new one out there in the Bay Area. He has been a tremendous asset for the Bears. I know what people are going to look at. They're like, this is a team that ranks north of 100 in offensive efficiency. We don't want that. We don't want Bruce Weber ball again. We don't want having a sound defense and a lethargic offense. But I'm telling you, Quanzo can coach. And I know the sample size is rather small, and there was, some racial undertones and why he left Tennessee. And that's why he exited stage left. Don't knock, pin that against him. I think he made the right move. But I think his buyout's only like something around 1-1, 1-2. It's not that much money. And a guy that we know can recruit, and a guy that I think is a very underrated X's and O's coach. And I know Cal is, right now teetering on being in or out of the field overall. But you got to remember, they lost Jordan Matthews, who's now, lighting it up for the Gonzaga Bulldogs as a transfer. Ivan Rabb wasn't healthy for a large chunk of the early portion of the season. They've lost key players on this team, and they're still in the conversation again in at-large bid. So Quanzo tops my list. I would probably throw in Fred Hoiberg there, and also Ben Howland, who's doing a pretty good job with a very young Mississippi State team, and we know the track record for him and the multiple Final Four appearances he had as skipper for the UCLA Bruins previously.
Brad, if you had to pick your 4 Final Four teams right now, who would they be?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God. I hate this question because I have to see the field.
Yeah.
I got to see the matchup, but I'm going to tell you right now, Gonzaga's making the Final Four. They've never done it before in school history. This is the best team in the country. And I know you guys are out there in Central Time Zone, and maybe you haven't stayed up. Maybe you had too many barley pops. You had to go to bed at 9 o'clock. But do yourself a favor and stay up and watch this team. They're flawless. And I understand they're beating up on the Sisters of Motherless Poor and the WCC, but they play at St. Mary's this weekend, a game that's in prime time, in Central Time, and actually Eastern Time as well. They absolutely body slammed the Gales up there in the Kennel earlier this year. This is the best team that Marquette's ever had. They have no weaknesses. They're a joy to watch. So I put Gonzaga in there right now. Villanova as well. They got the team that is still, accelerating at a very high level, on both ends of the floor in offensive and defensive efficiency. I think North Carolina, when they're playing their best game, we haven't seen that necessarily of late because of defensive issues. They're a little bit unraveled there, but when they're playing their best game, that's a team that's very capable of cutting down the nets and making the Final Four. And here's a wild card I'm going to throw in there right now. Oregon. I think the Oregon Ducks, the way that they're playing, the way that you want to talk about clotheslining an opponent. I haven't seen Arizona be embarrassed like that since, I can't even remember the last time. maybe the final minutes against that D. Brown team in 05.
Right.
That was a throttling that they put on a very good Arizona team, and that is a team with Boucher, who's a matchup problem, and Dylan Brooks, despite his Oscar-worthy flop, is a team that's putting it all together at the right time. And Dana Altman continues to be one of the most underrated coaches in the country.
Brad Evans knows that I'm up drinking beer. I was throwing Bud Light cans at your drone the other day, so get it out of my yard.
Hey, guys, I was in Houston last week covering the Super Bowl.
Yeah, how was Lady Gaga in live?
Well, no, I didn't go to the game. I just stayed on Radio Row and basically partied, and then I had like 30 interviews, and my voice was shot.
Oh, I can't imagine.
By the time day 2 rolled around, that's what happens when you're up at 4 a.m. drinking tequila.
Your mom taught you that years ago, dang it, not to do that kind of stuff. Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports. Follow him on Twitter. I know you do already, at Yahoo Noise. Always fun, Brad. Thank you, my friend.
Hey, give Kendall Gill a call. We need his help.
We'll do that. Brad Evans, always a joy to visit with Brad.
So he did rain on our parade that, hey, they can win out?
He kind of did.
Maybe?
He kind of.
I mean, we kind of know that.
No, I know. Listen, we're just giving that one or two people out there that still have hope.
Yeah.
We're just there with
I
him.
think there's a guy named David out there that Carp talks to.
Yeah. We're just giving him hope.
I mean, it was a nice win.
Hey, it'd be cool.
You could have used a couple more wins before that.
Listen, I am one of those. Rich Heron, I've said this a million times to you, and you've heard it a million times. Don't get too high, don't get too low.
Yeah.
I've been pretty low with this team. So what I'm trying to do is not obviously get high after a Northwestern win, which I've never done that either.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, or looking at me for. But it would be fun to beat Penn State, and then give me a reason to want to watch the Iowa game.
How about, that might have given you a reason to watch them. Because even if you don't think they're going to make the NCAA tournament, that team last night was kind of fun to watch.
It was decent.
It's kind of, you could root for them. You could root for them because you like watching Tijon.
Yes.
You like watching Kipper.
Yep.
You like watching Malcolm Hill and Mab Morgan even. And Finke hitting shots. Like, that looked like a team you could root for and have fun watching.
Have we brought up the fact that maybe Aaron Jordan starting and playing 4 minutes was the key to that game? maybe that confused Collins and Northwestern so much that they're like, Coach, what do we do? We don't have a game plan for him. Done. We had him fooled the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I kind of agree to that.
That's good news for Illinois State fans, though.
What's that?
That it could be a 2-bid league.
Oh, I thought you meant Aaron Jordan starting.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what the heck does that got to do with Illinois State? No, that would be great. And as a Valley guy, the Missouri Valley all of my life, for the most part, you had to win the tournament. Mm-hmm. And SIU back in the day had some really good teams. And one year they won like 27 or 28 games, didn't win the NCAA tournament, and didn't win the Valley tournament, didn't make the NCAA. Then you had those years in a row there with Southern was good, Wichita State started getting good, Northern Iowa, Creighton, where you were automatically almost a 2-bid league. And so now I'd like to see it get back to that, to where at least Wichita State and Illinois State make it. That'd be cool. But I tell you what, I think I might be planning a trip down to the Lou for my dogs, because I want to go. I haven't been to a Valley tournament game in so long. It's so fun. It's so fun to go down to St. Louis and do that.
A lot better when there's more good teams.
No, there's no doubt.
There's been a lot of down programs.
And
there.
Southern's just got one of those teams. They've got a pretty good point guard.
Yeah.
They've got some decent athletes. They're one of those teams that could maybe because they'll have a pretty good crowd, me being included maybe in that. They're one of those teams that could maybe.
Are you doing the Carp thing with Southern? Like, do you want them to lose?
No, because didn't Henson just signed a 2-year deal?
Yeah. So
which blows my mind, but oh well, what am I?
Hey, this segment brought to you by 10,000 Villages in downtown Champaign. Now through Valentine's Day, get 25% off all fair trade jewelry and select Valentine's Day gifts. Choose from a beautiful selection of handcrafted earrings, necklaces, bracelets, rings, and more. 10,000 Villages, 105 North Walnut in downtown Champaign.
We used to have a Navy SEAL signal for the wrap.
Yeah.
Are we still going with that right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'd forgotten the signal.
Sorry, we're pretty honest here.
Right.
That's that thing. That thing I just did.
I'd rather that than dead air.
Yeah, that's a sports update. 5:36. It is the Sports Center update brought to you by the Mettler Center. If you're looking to take your fitness to the next level, set up a free 30-minute consultation by visiting MettlerCenter.com. With a 68-61 win at Northwestern last night, Illini accomplished something they haven't in a year. That's a road win, guys. They also accomplished something they haven't in 2 years.
What?
A Big Ten road victory in regulation in 40 minutes.
Wow.
For the rest of your life. Was it 40 years?
All that's updated now.
40 minutes for the next 40 years of your life.
What was that from? Varsity Blues?
Varsity Blues.
Okay.
Tejon Lucas, 11 points, 6 assists, really sparked Illinois early. Malcolm Hill and Michael Finke combined to score all their points in the second half, combined 25 points between them. But Tejon Lucas got the Illini going. John Gross likes what he sees out of the freshman point guard.
I thought today was maybe, I think it's probably fair to say, his most complete game. I thought he really worked hard defensively on just a terrific offensive player, McIntosh, who's a handful. He's really good. Tried to make him uncomfortable. That's hard to do. And then at the other end was making us better. Thought he dug out some rebounds for us. Thought he made timely shots. And just made our team really better at both ends of the floor. So I thought he did a lot of good things.
Illinois will host Penn State Saturday afternoon. We'll try to win back-to-back Big Ten games for the first time in 2 years.
Wow.
Tonight in the Big Ten, Rutgers is at Ohio State. Iowa is at Minnesota. In the Valley, Illinois State routed Drake last night. Tonight, Southern Illinois is at Northern Iowa, and Bradley hosts Indiana State. Bulls are at the Warriors tonight. Jimmy Butler will miss his third straight game with a heel contusion, and Dwayne Wade is questionable. He's sick.
Oh, really?
Could be a bad night for the Bulls.
Oh, and the Blues won last night.
Strong.
That's 2 road wins in a row for the Blues. I think they've been as long as Illinois in doing that. Hey, Prairie View Landscaping in their 25th year in business, and to celebrate, that was a strong score.
What? Really
I think maybe my best ever. To celebrate, Prairie View Landscaping is offering up to 25% off of your entire 2017 lawn care service. Here's what you want to do. You want to email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Sign up by February 23rd, and you may win free lawn care for 2017. We'll pick a random winner on the 24th of February. Prairie View Landscaping celebrating their 25th anniversary with SJ Broadcasting. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
When we come back, did you guys go down the Pacoda projections yet in baseball?
Oh, no, we were going to do that, and we did not.
Let's do that when we come back.
Perfect. It is the Tay and J Show.
ESPN 93.5 invites you on our annual bus trip to see the St. Louis Cardinals take on the world champion Chicago Cubs Wednesday, April 5th. And it's all brought to you by Rosati's Pizza in Urbana. Buy your bus and right field game day tickets for just $99. Or register to win a set of free tickets at Rosati's Pizza, 701 Gregory in Urbana. It's our annual bus trip to Busch Stadium in St. Louis to see the Cubs take on the Cardinals Wednesday, April 5th. Get information on the trip by calling 367-1195 or at ESPNCU.com today.
Hey guys, Mike Carpenter from the Tay and J Show, and for this Illinois basketball season, we have a brand new show on ESPN 93.5 called The 200 Level. Ride the roller coaster with myself and Steve Breitweiser each Monday night at 6, right after the Tay and J Show, every Monday through the NCAA tournament. The 200 Level is brought to you by DP Doe, Shambana Sales, Cheap Hour Service Experts, and Heiser Allstate Agency. The 200 Level, Monday nights at 6, beginning January 9th, only on ESPN 93.5 and streaming online at ESPNCU.com.
Hi, I'm Damon Hackelman, owner of CleanRite in Champaign. If you're looking for a trusted restoration service company, just look for the guys in the blue trucks. At CleanRite, we understand that life happens, and we're ready to help. Our experienced service technicians will provide you with not only a quick response, but also honest answers and advice. For water, fire, smoke, or mold restoration, we're there when you need us. Call CleanRite today at 351-4930. That's 351-4930. Or just Google CleanRite Champaign.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
DP Doe is the original Calzone Company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original Calzone Company.
We're taking you out to the ball game to see the 2016 World Series champions. ESPN 93.5 is sending you on an all-expense-paid trip to Mesa, Arizona for Cubs spring training. So get out of the dugout and register to win now at Rosati's Pizza on Gregory and Urbana. Vapors E-Cigs LLC in Champaign, Danville, and Rantoul. Register today at Champaign Surplus in downtown Champaign, Honda BMW in Savoy, or at the U of I Meat Sales Room on Maryland Avenue in Urbana. The more you register, the more chances you have to win. Our Grand Slam Cubs spring training trip includes $1,000 cash in airfare or gas money. 3 nights at the Sheraton in Mesa, rental car included, exclusive post-game dinner with select players, tickets to 2 games, and custom Cubs merchandise. Don't take a rain check on this contest. Register now to win. Get rules, details, and a full list of registration locations at espncu.com.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Happy Valentine's Day, honey.
Wow, look at these roses. They're gorgeous. You didn't have to get me these.
I couldn't let Valentine's Day come and go without surprising you with flowers.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, this Valentine's Day, even though she says you don't have to get her flowers, take it from me. Send her flowers. She'll be so happy when you do. And right now, you can get her a stunning bouquet of 2 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Just go to proflowers.com, click the blue microphone in the upper right corner, and enter secret code 2626. These gorgeous roses are guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days. Plus, you pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. Hurry, you must order by this weekend to get 2 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase starting at $29.99. Beautiful flowers, amazing prices. It's a no-brainer. The only way to get this incredible deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter secret code 2626. That's proflowers.com, code 2626.
The Upper Bout in Champaign, a music store with a different kind of attitude. Their showroom features high-quality brands from Gibson, Martin, and Taylor guitars to Vox, Mesa Boogie, and Anwag Outfitters amplifiers. The Upper Bout's expert staff will personalize your experience, answering every question and setting up your guitar exactly the way you want it. Whether you're a lifelong musician looking to add to your collection or a lifelong music fan looking to buy your first guitar and take up lessons, The Upper Bout has you covered. Stop by The Upper Bout on Neal Street in Champaign, next to El Toro, or visit them online at theupperbout.com.
Have you ever bought something that you loved only to have it give out after just a few uses? That can be really frustrating. And that's why at Champaign Surplus, they carry only the best products available. Each item in the store has been hand-picked to offer you the highest quality, curated selection from brands like The North Face, Patagonia, Merrell, and dozens more. And at Champaign Surplus, they don't just sell the stuff, they use it too. There's no need to spend hours researching before going in because the employees at Champaign Surplus are there to answer your questions and make sure you find the exact right item. Are you traveling soon? Let them help because they've been there. From anti-theft luggage and money belts to quality hiking shoes for long days of walking, Champaign Surplus can help you find the perfect items for your unique travel itinerary. Plus, right now, save 30 to 50% on top brands during the winter clearance sale. Stop by for great deals on quality products and the helpful service that you deserve. Champaign Surplus, 303 South Neal Street, downtown Champaign, and at champagnesurplus.com.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Woo! Hey, support yourself, support community groups, and keep CU unique when you shop at CMI online at CMI Clean. CMI.com. They're female-owned and operated. Owners Betsy and Brad Parks would like to give you and your business a quote. Whether you need floor mating, aerosols, soaps, carpet and bathroom care, laundry products, or cleaning chemicals, you'll find it at CMI. Think local first. Think CMI online at CMIClean.com or call 359-6262.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Jeremy Werner. You and I have done a radio show for 6+ years now. That's hard to believe. What I have found out is we're gonna eat snacks during a radio show. It's too long. It's 3 hours.
Gotta have some energy.
Gotta have some energy. So the go-tos that you and I seem to have are peanuts and apples.
Yes. And I have protein bars.
And you do. That's right.
Yeah.
You eat a protein bar every day. So I haven't had candy in a while.
Huh?
Although I do have a candy cane.
You've been on a health kick, man. Going to the gym basically every day and eating apples.
I do have a candy cane, though.
Okay. Is that candy? It's got it in the title.
Yeah, I don't think so, though.
I
think that's fairly low on your calorie list.
That's true.
Of candies. But anywho, peanuts and apples, I have never choked more in my life than off those two things. Like, I just had an apple, like a little piece of apple go down the wrong... Is there really a wrong pipe?
Have you ever really choked?
No. My brother saved a person up in Chicago.
My brother saved me.
Really?
Twice. My grandma used to have these really, flaky...
I love how you said grandma.
Hot dog buns. So whenever she made hot dogs, I'd eat it.
That's like the number one food for choking, hot dogs.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I twice, my brother just smacks me on the back a bunch of times.
He probably loved that.
Yeah. I think we both got something out of it. He got to hit me and I got to live. Kind of worked out evenly there.
No, I've always had this fear of my boy. I worry about that. I worry about people choking.
Something I got to worry about now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it just brings in a whole new thing of...
Torrin's starting to eat real stuff now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Good luck with those.
Carrots.
You know what?
Carrots?
Oh, those come out really bad.
Really orange.
Or the green.
Well, we've done carrots and sweet potatoes so far. So it's been really orange.
Yes.
Really orange.
Hey.
It's really impressive, though. It's really impressive what comes out of a baby. Because you're like, you that much?
How do you manufacture that in that little body?
Like you didn't eat that much.
No, I don't know. It's like they store it up. Like it grows in their body during the night. It doesn't make any sense. So, well, that's awesome, though, for little Torrin. He's getting big.
Yeah, he is.
He's so cute.
He's going in next week. I think he's going to be 17 pounds.
Wow.
16
Does he
or
do
17.
Have they done the shots yet?
Yeah.
Okay, you did the shots. Those are never good.
He's starting to do a little push-ups a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's getting ready. He's got probably about 2-3 months away from crawling. But
I love this.
Yeah. That's your Torrin update.
It's awesome, though, because...
Orange poop. That's your Torrin update.
It makes me think back to the days with my boys. You know, it's awesome.
It's amazing. He was 6 months. He turned 6 months yesterday.
That's
and it's
crazy.
Like, good Lord, everyone says it goes fast. But it's just like, wow.
Yeah, I know. 6 months.
Yeah.
Lucas,
and the things that change every 2 weeks, it's amazing.
Unbelievable. Lucas Tay is going to be 17 on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a little different than 6 months.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts.
17.
Even for me, because I got to know him, he was 10? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's grown up. Andrew's grown up before my eyes.
They both have. The last year, how much Lucas has actually grown in terms of height.
Oh, he's got the voice now.
Yeah. And I know he's got the little stash. He's probably like, Dad?
He's not listening to you.
No, you're right. I think he does on the way home, but now he's got better things to do. I was looking on Facebook last year when I visited Mom in Florida. The boys went and we took a picture with the sunset, and Lucas is like shoulder with me, and now he's, I think, taller than me.
Oh, he's taller than
So
me.
what we're going to do...
He's like 6'2", isn't he?
He's... No. He's maybe... I think he's 6'1" a little bit, because I'm not quite 6'1".
You said, no, he's 6'2". No, he's 6'1"?
No, he's 6'8".
I was pretty close.
Right, no. Well, with his hair, he's 6.
Yeah, he's got some poofy hair.
He's got some poof hair, yeah. And I think the kids like that stuff nowadays, and I'm just like, really? But then I think back to what I wore back in the 80s, and I'm like, never mind. Your hair looks great.
Rat tail.
Exactly. So I'm going to... Have you ever seen on Facebook, people will take a picture and then they'll post another picture of the same, like them and their brother, let's say when they were 7 and 9, and then the same pose and everything. I want to reenact the picture this year with Andrew and Lucas and my mom, And Mom will hate it because she'll think she's shrinking.
Yeah.
But I want to see it again just to see how much taller Andrew and Lucas are with the beach behind us. I think that'd be cool to do.
Did you guys ever do that, like a measurement thing?
No, Gene started that, I think, with Lucas, and then Andrew. You know how it is with the second child.
Right. That wasn't all that great, so we just won't bother with that.
You and I, it's like, Lon's not that important.
I think we took a picture of him at the Curtis Orchard.
Yes.
And, they got the measurement thing. I think we're going to do that
every year.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, you guys now have an open book to do with Torrin. And what I love about it.
It's called a Facebook.
Exactly. And that's so cool. I wish I could go back. I mean, I know I've got pictures of Lucas and videos, but I wish I had that access that easy on Facebook.
Yeah, because basically what my wife is doing is he's got a Facebook page.
I think it's awesome.
But, I mean, he's not going to be able to have it for a long time.
Well,
but
right.
He's like, we put up the pictures and we tag him and stuff like that. So eventually it's just going to be a virtual scrapbook of him.
That's going to be
himself
so cool.
grow up.
Because I've got one picture of the first time I ever met him.
Yeah.
I've got the pictures after one of Lucas's golf matches there in Jupiter's The Crossings. I got a picture of him. He's so little then, too. Yeah. The other day I actually texted you. I know we got to talk sport. No, you know what? Screw it. We're talking our kids. The other day I texted you that picture of Torrin right when he was born. You had sent me that picture, and I've got it saved in my phone, and I was looking for another picture, and boom, there it was. I'm like, oh, he's all swaddled.
When do you know who they look like? Like, when can you really...
The Tay boys was like maybe hour 8. As Gene always said, I'm glad I could have him.
Yeah, see, we thought Tiff early on. He's got Tiff's face, which is a great thing. Which is a very great thing.
Your wife is beautiful. Yes, so, yes, I will agree with that.
She is gorgeous. I outkicked my coverage. I know we all say that.
Not even close.
But, she's definitely a couple points higher on the 1 to 10 scale than me.
I'm going to agree with you as your good friend.
I charmed the heck out of her, apparently.
Right. That's all we can do, guys like us.
I bothered the hell out of her until she went out with me on a date, and then she just said, okay, this is fine.
She's like, he's fine.
She settled. She settled way too early in her life. But no, she's got his face, or he's got her face.
Yeah.
Her nose, which is very button nosy. Mine's more pointy.
Okay.
And then her brown eyes. And I think he's going to have her hair, but right now it's kind of blonde.
Okay.
But it's getting darker.
Okay.
So I think it'll be her. But he's got, you look at him from the back or right straight on, he's got my head.
I know what you're saying.
My head shape is just perfectly him. Just that round, big old head.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so it's definitely my kid. For a while there, I was like, doesn't really have anything.
Yeah, right.
Now he's got my big noggin and these ears that now point out. Because when he was born, it was really close to his head.
Yeah.
And they were kind of pointy, like her families are pointy.
But now they're
these wide elephant ears.
So funny.
Yeah, sorry, kid. You had to get something to me.
But Torrin's like, thanks a lot, man. If I just could have looked like Mom, I would have been. No, he's cute as heck.
Yeah, he's pretty cute.
Come on, he's cute as
We'll see if that continues.
Oh, it'll be fine. But I love the Facebook page. That is awesome. That's awesome.
I was going to do these Pacoda rankings, but here.
Oh, I forgot.
Baseball Prospectus. They release their Pacoda rankings every year. Can you guess which team in the American League they have winning the most games in the American League?
Boston.
Boston third at 91 wins.
Texas.
Texas is down the list. Probably like 6, I think tied for 6 at 85.
Cleveland.
Cleveland second with 93 wins. Great offseason for them.
Yanks?
No, the Yankees 82 and 80 they have.
Oh, that's true. They didn't improve that much.
A team that kind of disappointed last year, but really young and really talented.
It's not Kansas City.
No. Kansas City, they have it 72 and 90.
Toronto? No. Why am I not getting this?
Used to play in your division.
Oh, Houston.
The Houston Astros.
Oh, I know why I'm not getting it, because they tanked last year.
94 and 68. Yeah, they kind of got back into it.
Well, they did.
Late,
you're right.
Pretty disappointing year for them, but they are ridiculously talented. They have Houston 94, Cleveland 93, Boston 91. They have the White Sox still at 77 wins.
Okay.
We need to trade some people. You can't win that many games.
Right. What are you thinking?
Tank, guys.
I don't think they'll win that many, will they?
All right, National League. Who do you think they have?
The Cubbies.
No.
The Cubs aren't number one?
Well,
L.A.
L.A. at 100 wins.
Wow.
They have L.A. at 100 wins.
So they don't have the Cubs?
They have the Cubs at 92 wins.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. They think it's that. How many did the Cubs win last year?
They don't think. This is just their numbers.
Well, right. How many did the Cubs win last year? They won over 100.
I hope this is updated. Because, man.
That seems strange.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that seems strange to have not only, maybe not so much the Dodgers winning maybe a little bit more than the Cubs, but to have that much of a, man, that's a really,
the Dodgers have a great roster, and they were pretty close to taking a big lead on the Cubs. So
no, that's true. And then, but I just think
and
that
Kershaw
would be a
for an entire year. No, I agree. I mean, these aren't perfect.
No, I agree.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Third in the National League. Can you guess? Who's winning the NL East?
I was going to say it's the Mets, right?
Mets at 89, Nationals at 88.
Oh, Nationals. Shoot. Oh, they actually do have the Mets
at
more
89. The Giants 87. The Pirates 82. Can you guess how many wins they have the Cardinals at?
78.
77.
Okay. Yeah.
That's low.
I think it is too. I think the Cardinals will be better than that, but I'm trying to get myself fired up for baseball season. I mean, it's pretty easy. I love baseball.
What would you put the over-under at with your Cardinals? And what do you think they are this year?
I like their pitching staff. I think Reyes is going to help. I like having Lance Lynn back.
I mean, I kind of have them as a 85 to 90 win team.
I think they'll be 80. I'd probably go a little bit. I'd probably go 84, 83, 84. I don't like odd numbers. 84. So, but I think
84 to 88. Yeah, would kind of be my projection for them.
They're not going to beat the Cubs in the Central, but I think they'll be better than the Pirates.
If everything goes wrong, I think they could go to 77. If everything goes right, I think they could get to 90.
I think it could be interesting. I'm anxious. We can talk baseball all day. We'll do that one day. We got 30 seconds.
All right, thanks to our guest today, Mark Tupper.
I think I just got the apple up.
Ohio softball coach Tyra Perry and Brad Evans, Yahoo Sports. Also, thanks to Tyler Knight and Harry Black. If you missed the show, get the podcast, ESPNCU.com, or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance.
Can you come here and just beat the crap out of my back?
Sure.
Get this apple up. All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Tay and J Show.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
For over 145 years, Busey has been committed to improving the quality of life in the communities we serve. Since we first opened our doors, we've been reinvesting in our communities, one project at a time, from financial guidance and support to energetic volunteers and committed leaders. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Prairie View Landscaping is in their 25th year in business. And between now and February 23rd, sign up and receive up to 25% off your 2017 lawn care service. Not only that, but on February 24th, they'll select one winner who will receive free lawn care all year long. Email mypvdiscount@gmail.com for a free quote. mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Prairie View Landscaping, celebrating their 25th anniversary with SJ Broadcasting. mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
ESPN Radio